Vibe blowing up the J. Got the loud jumping at the bag. Everything I'm on slab. Everything I do is got the bands jumping at the bag. Vibe blowing at my J. Got the loud jumping at the bag. Everything I'm on slab.
We've been with the Brazilians. This would be the first.
They wild, I think.
I'm innocent.
Bro, you hear that guy? What's going on, everybody? It is Coach Greg Adams back in here with another YouTube live stream. Shout out to the Coach Gang.
And that's you.
For being in here, being involved, and being active on this YouTube channel. Well, welcome back to the Wake Up Show. The Wake Up Show, part of the Free Agent Lifestyle podcast here on the Free Agent Lifestyle channel. You in here with the Bruce Wayne of this ish, the King of Kings, the King of Content, and the Speaker of Truth, yours truly, the Notorious One, a.k.a. Mr. Coachellini, better known as the Prognosticator, Coach Stradamus. And you're in the Desert Storm bunker with none other than EWF. That is every woman's fantasy in the whole fucking show. I'm the CEO, Niggero, of Fixes Binds LLC, the unbinder, the undebatable, the undisputed best entertainment here on YouTube. Even though they don't want me here, but you can call me Senor Gregorio Graybeard. The ladies love to call me Mr.
Your
Third Leg Greg.
was just phenomenal.
Also, the man with no trabajo, the Mitch Slapper, the anointed one.
Acknowledge me.
Also known as the founding father of the After Pill. I am the junior college sociologist. You can call me the Morpheus of the Matey Matrix, the Chocolate of Confucius, the Black Moses, the Deliverer. Also known as the man that walks in the spirit of Elijah. I'm the man with more nicknames than anyone in the game, but in case you forget those names, just call me CGA, see God Allah, and I'll be the 12-time demonetized champion of YouTube. We're going to get this show started. Today's show, we're going to talk about dating women of different races in different faces. I know a lot of people look for solutions in people of different races. We're going to talk about the growing prevalence of interracial couples. And is in fact, are you going to get a better deal on the other side of the skin, if you will? So we're going to go to the so-called black woman. We're going to go to the Latina and tell you the characteristics and what you should be looking out for. We're also going to go definitely to the linglings, and we're going to tell you what to look out for when you're dating some of the linglings out there. And as you guys know, we got Thursday coming up. And
What kind of fuck you give me?
all right, we're going to talk about them linglings as well. And we're also going to talk about the white woman.
Where the white women at?
Yes, indeed, the white woman. All right, should be an interesting show. All right. What do we got here? Interesting show. It's going to be fun. But anyway, to contribute to today's show, $ the Notorious CGA on the Cash App, Venmo, Coach Greg Adams TV. PayPal is paypal.me/Coach Greg Adams. That is pinned to the top of the description box on the Free Agent Lifestyle channel. And you can super chat by clicking the link on the top of the live chat on the free agent lifestyle channel.
New world order.
All right, shout out to you brothers, man. Do me a favor, hit the like button as you enter in today's show. Also, we're going to cover David Banner going full Vivica Fox. Says now that he's turned 50 years old, him looking to get married and have children. We're going to figure out what that means. All right, and if he has faced some backlash for coming out at 50, saying that he wants to get married and have children. Could he, in fact, do that? Can men have that option after you've focused on your career? We're going to talk about that and see what people think about that. We also have Crime and Law CGA, Doom and Gloom CGA, Kamala Harris linked to Michael Jackson cases. Oh, the president, the vice president, did she participate in the I guess you would call it, in the litigation against Michael Jackson and his accusers? Well, she's a participant. And whose side was she on? We're going to give you a CNBC report that says men are dropping out of the workforce. Where you been? Men are dropping out of everything, and there's a legitimate reason why. So we're going to cover that. And last part, the top 10 worst cities for dating. Who do you think is going to make the top 10 list of the worst cities for dating? I got my bet on Tupelo, Mississippi. All right, but maybe it's not Tupelo. Maybe it is Memphis, Tennessee, or something like that. But give me your list. Who made the top 3 in the top worst cities to date? We got that coming up and much, much more. So let's get to the earlier contributors to today's show, because we got to get to the earlier contributors to today's show, man. Hey, man, reclaiming back masculinity is a must. Stunting is a habit. Get like me. Okay. I don't know where I ended off here on this Ko-Fi link. All right. I see. I'm scrolling up. Oh, no government name says, why are men so obsessed with love and validation rather than treatment and respect when it comes to women? As the saying goes, he says, it's better to be feared than love. That is the statement. It's better to be feared than love. I'm going to tell you why men are obsessed with love and validation. I'm going to tell you, especially for you monkey simps out here. Shout out to the monkey simps. And I'm going to tell you this. And it's very simple to understand. I'm going to tell you how simple it is to understand the simpleton that we call males. Right? The simpletons that we call males. The number one reason why men are obsessed with love and validation is that without love and validation, these ninjas will get no cootie cat. They will get no punani. All right. They will get none.
When I start selling pussy,
all right,
I don't want to hear it.
All right. The reason why men pursue relationships is because this is almost their only chance to get access to sex in a legitimate way. And this is why. All right. Men's number one reason for getting into relationships is access to sex. Now, they'll play the game for as long as they can, because here's at the end of the day, not only do men want access to sex, they want to feel like they're making, like they're pleasuring their woman, their girl, right? So they want the girl to desire him. It's not enough to get access to sex, right? Because you would say if they wanted access to sex, they could go to the massage parlor and let Ling Ling rub and tug on his meat, right? But that's not enough. He wants to feel like he's got that woman's soul, if you will. He wants to feel like he's pleasuring her and making her go, ouchie, ouchie. That's what he wants. That's that love and validation he needs. And so men need love and validation to pursue sex. All right. That is the number one reason why. And I have plenty of evidence and proof to talk about this, because men, it's kind of like, when you're on the hunt and somebody throws you a steak, you're like, I don't want that. I want to get it myself, all of it out in the wild. And they just want to catch it out in the wild. They want to go fishing and pull the fish right out of the damn river. All right. They don't want to go to the fish store. So this is what guys do. This is the number one reason why they chase love and validation. And they will take all kind of disrespect in between. All right. They'll take all kind of disrespect. They'll take the woman talking negative and down to him. They'll take the woman leading him on. They'll take all of that. Dude, I had some more shit. You know what? Just reminded me. All right. I did have some more things that I wanted to pull up for today's show. I don't even know if I have time to do it. All right. I don't even know if I have time to do it because there were some funny memes that I wanted to pull up, but I didn't even share it. This is a disgrace. All right. Let me see here. Oh, I see what I was doing. All right. Yeah. I'll keep it later. But yeah, ninjas want constantly that need to be desired. I get it. I understand. Shout out to our brother. Let me see if I can say your name. Max Hanton. Good morning, coach. I went to the JUCO earlier this morning, and now I'm paying tuition. Happy hump day. And it looks like he got his meat fixed, and he's ready to go. All right, he's emptied out the chamber, and he's ready to go, man. Shout out to you. I appreciate that, and I appreciate the support early in the morning. And then let's go over here. Let's check out what's going on over here. Nothing's going over here. Rent must be due. All right, I understand.
Your rent's due, motherfucker.
Ninjas got rent due. All right, for sure. This past week. What do we think? What do we think about the worst states to date? The worst cities to date? We're going to have that coming up here in a little bit. All right. Did I get our brother here? We got a brother name. Let me see if I can get your name. Is this VMAD? I think it's VMAD. VMAD says the Fellowship Foxhole. Shout out to the coach and the coach gang. We can't stop and we won't stop. He says, I'm with you, coach. Let's get it. Seek first. Appreciate you, man, for being here. VMAD is back in the building, and I see your channel is going. All right, you got your channel going. Congratulations, man. I see people getting it going here. All right, we don't have any ladies to show you today, so we're going to jump right into it with Doom and Gloom CGA. Let's go. All right, Doom and Gloom CGA brought to you by the
New World Order.
All right, Doom and Gloom CGA. First of all, it looks like Donald Trump, you know, I'm his favorite African-American.
Oh, look at my African-American over here. Look at him. Are you the greatest? You know what I'm talking about?
All right, I am Donald Trump's favorite African-American for sure. All right, you guys know that. But apparently Donald Trump is a free agent. Did you guys know that Donald Trump is a free agent? All right, we'll hear it from his own words right here. The great one, Donald Trump. Let's see if we can hear it from his own mouth.
I encourage people to join CGA and living the free agent lifestyle. The heck with Normie, ninjas.
Hey, did you hear that? Hey, shout out to Donald Trump.
I encourage people to join CGA and living the free agent lifestyle. The heck with Normie.
Oh, yeah, shout out to a brother right there. All right, we got an endorsement. We got an endorsement from Donald Trump.
Oh, look at my African-American over here. Look at him. Are you the greatest? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, we got our first endorsement here from Donald Trump, 45 and 47 himself.
I encourage people to join CGA and living the free agent lifestyle. The heck with Normie.
Oh, yeah, shout out to us, man. We winning out here. Shout out to Donald. Hey, man, the Donald. El Presidente. All right, hey, he said it. I didn't say it out here.
New World Order.
All right, he's the one that said it. All right, you better listen to Donald Trump. I'll tell you. That's what it is. All right, he gave me a shout out. All right, showed it Ron DeSantis. All right, a lot of people gave me a shout out. All right, I'm growing in the world. All right, here we go. We saw it. You saw it. All right, heard the man. All right, what do we got here? We have Red Pill awareness, bringing awareness that potentially Kamala Harris was connected to the Michael Jackson trial. All right, let me check it out.
Could mean life in prison, and cases like this can depend on the testimony of the child accuser.
In general, the child will be able to recall and recollect with some detail the incident, and that is persuasive to a jury, even if it is the only testimony that is available.
Oh, my.
Jackson gave a wave when he was released after booking. He's scheduled for arraignment in January.
Oh, did you see that? Did you see that, gentlemen? Was that Kamala Harris? All right, in support of the victims, the alleged victims, you know, they were extorting that man. They were extorting that man. Kamala Harris was part and partial of the Michael Jackson. Somebody's got to look this up. I don't even know if this is legit. But there she is right there. She said,
"Do not come. Do not come."
All right, that's what she said. All right, wow. So here's the deal.
In prison, and cases like this can depend on the testimony of the child accuser.
In general, the child...
There she is, young Kamala Harris right there, man. Look at her. She was a baddie back in the day, and I could see why she was dropping that.
There's barbecue in there.
All right, but this does explain why Janet Jackson has been going in on Kamala. I don't know if you guys know, and I covered this the other day. Janet Jackson has been taking aim at Kamala Harris, and now we know why. All right, Janet Jackson might have a little bit of a beef when it comes to Kamala Harris. So now it all makes sense. See, Janet Jackson said, no, she ain't black. All right, because she knew what was up. She knew what was part of the game right there. Let's take a look. Let's take a look here. She said, I ain't apologizing for shit. That woman was part and parcel trying to take my brother down right there. You see that right there.
Child will be able to recall and recollect with some detail the incident, and that is persuasive to it.
Oh, wow, Kamala Harris was busy out here.
Do not come.
Oh.
Do not come.
I'm going to come.
All right, so let me see here.
Jury, even if it is the only testimony that is available.
Jackson gave a wave when he was released after booking. He's scheduled for arraignment in January.
Michael's been a long-time resident of Trump Tower, and last night the Donald strongly reiterated his defense of Jackson with Larry King by going after the accuser's mother.
She's had plenty of experience at going after people, and she goes after them viciously and violently, and I saw a story and I read another story about some of the things she's done, and I don't believe it.
But you know what it's like when an indictment comes down.
It's tough.
It's presumption.
It's tough. It's tough to win. But I have a feeling he's going to win, Larry. The interesting thing is I've known Michael from many different standpoints, and Michael would spend a lot of time with my kids. I have beautiful kids, and at the time, like at Mar-a-Lago, and even in Trump Tower, the kids were very young. Michael would come, play with the kids. He just loved children. He was not a child molester, and I am certain of that. He loved children. He'd play with my son Eric and my son Donald, and he'd just play with them forever. This
is the so-called racist right here, right? Donald Trump is the racist, but Kamala Harris is for the black people. Oh, boy, y'all gonna learn. Y'all gonna learn. All right, Kamala Harris is a sister. She for the black people, and the answer is no. I mean, we definitely have that mixed up. Kamala Harris is definitely more closely associated with the racists. Donald Trump is always associated with the Negro, all right? The so-called black man. Wow, that's interesting. Kamala Harris in there trying to prosecute Michael Jackson. All right, so anyway, Doom and Gloom CGA. Do I have my banner up? I don't have my banner up. I knew it. I didn't remember changing it, so we're going to pull it up here. Doom and Gloom CGA. We have the America's New Slave Trade. Oh, my goodness. This is a video on YouTube. Let me see if I can pull this up. Let me see if I can refresh the screen. All right, there it is right there. America's New Slave Trade. All right, we're going to talk about this, and they're going to talk about how they're moving and trafficking human beings and how they're doing it here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the video and play a portion of it right here.
I held these up before Congress and said, you're witnessing America's new slave trade.
So, Jason, these wristbands, you brought them from the border?
Yeah, these are specifically from Roma, Texas, which sits on the U.S. side just across from a plaza known as Miguel Alemán. It's one of the most violent regions along the southwest border. And the reason for that is because that is ground zero where Cartel de Golfo is in control, also known as CDG, and where the Los Zetas, today known as Cartel del Este, are battling for control. But this is also where CDG began putting wristbands on men, women, and children.
Woo.
And what you're seeing here really represents a process. Just as Border Patrol was overwhelmed with the amount of people that began influxing into the country in January and February of 2021, so was the cartels. But Cartel de Golfo and their alien smuggling organization specifically came up with this as a process. And as they were being overwhelmed with people, they began first putting them in stash houses. Once you come into a stash house, the way it works is they get all of your PII data, known as your personal identifying information. Once you give them enough of their family and the country of origin where they come from, along with where they're going in the United States, a payment is agreed upon. When that happens, you see this number right here?
Mm-hmm.
That number goes into their database. And each one of these represent a different alien smuggling organization directly working for Cartel de Golfo. Now, they're the only cartel that does this on the southwest border. But what you're seeing and what you're holding here is America's new slave trade. And I truly mean that, because this represents an adjustment from the smuggling of a person to the trafficking of a person. And what's the difference? If you
All right, let me see if I can get the difference here.
smuggle someone from point A to point B, there's an agreement made that you are going to pay that smuggler so much to get you from here to here. Now, as soon as you get here, that agreement's over. You go on your way in the United States or wherever, and they go back to doing what they do. Here it is different, because what the cartels realized is that people are the gift that keeps giving. When I first broke this story,
let me stop him right there. All right, so you definitely have that going on. Let me see here. Let me see if I can pull this up. This is a really sad case right here, what's going on. In female migrants, oftentimes that price is sex. All right, definitely right there. It says sex is typically transactional with smugglers and other migrants. It says while some migrant women travel with their partners or form sexual partnerships during the transition, sex is typically transactional. So it's a double violence penalty that they're paying to come across the border. And it says right here, and then when they get over here, many of them are forced into sex. Some of them do experience HIV complications. So be careful when you're messing with migrant women. And also, they end up probably getting into sex work when they get over here. So it just depends on how they get over here. So this is typically what's going on. And black people don't get offended when they use the word slave. Slave has nothing to do with the so-called black person. So human trafficking is a form of slavery. It's a form of a sex slave and a sex trade. So black people think they own the word slave, and they get offended when people talk about slave. If they said chattel slavery, okay. All right, that's a difference. But this is a form of slavery. Trafficking human beings is that. Not to mention, when they get over here, they typically are paid under the table or very, very low wages, if any at all. So, yes, it is a form of that. So be careful when you're dealing with this. And we're witnessing it now. And if you are not sympathetic, well, then you wonder why people aren't sympathetic about your issue. If you keep bringing up slavery from the 1800s and the 1700s and nobody cares, yeah, because you don't care about what's happening today. I often said with the human being, when you see things, hindsight is 20/20. You certainly can go back into your history books and then look at all the atrocities that have been happening. But we're experiencing the same thing today. All right. Debt is slavery. Slave is debt. So they're coming in indebted and they're paying a version of that. So guys, it's happening now. You guys would be more hyper vigilant about what's happening today with these things. And if you're not, and you want to be more historically based about what's happening for things and people to be sympathetic towards you, well, why don't you be sympathetic for people that are experiencing this today? Otherwise, thank you to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris for opening up the border for the largest sex slave trade that we got going on today. Yes, we do. Oh, yes, we got it on today, man. Get it going on. Watch out. All right. Watch out. By the way, I predicted this in my book, The Evolution. Okay. Watch out for the baby oil. Okay. Speaking of STDs, record highs, gentlemen, we are going through an by the way, I predicted this as well. U.S. STD cases rise to a record high. Ninjas is getting a clap. Woo! Wait. All right, my goodness. All right, look at this. Total reported cases of syphilis, gonorrhea, and chlamydia, and congenital, and I don't even know what that is. Cockroid diseases? I don't even know what that is. But it is skyrocketing. Ladies and gentlemen, Houston is on fire out there.
Look what she did to my car.
Oh, my goodness, man. And here's why I want to highlight this is the case here. A lot of people are worried about these issues. Obviously, get your tests. You know, you don't want to wear your condoms. You're going to get something, man. And everything's curable at this particular point. I don't think many people are going to die long as you get your treatment. But we are experiencing a sexual revolution like none other. And this is because this is the modern day Sodom and Gomorrah, if you will. And there's going to be a rise of it because normies are out here passing out STIs. These aren't just the sex workers and the JUCO. I know people always are concerned about it. But I've been always telling you, man, it is the normies. It's the average, regular individual. All right. You'd be absolutely shocked. If you're active out here, you wouldn't be shocked because a lot of regular girls you're meeting on dating apps, they got STIs. All right. Some of them got herpes. All right. And right before you about to go ahead and split her wide open, we need to have a talk. And it's a normie individual. All right. So the spectrum is absolutely real. you better be watching out more or less for the normies, more than less, because you're like, oh, the prostitutes got it. Nah, bruh. The normies got it. I mean, come on, man. That's way too many STIs, all right? Or that's a lot of sex workers. All right, that's a lot of sex workers. And there's also a lot of Duke shooter and pooter intruder activity out here. A lot of Gen Z ninjas is tippy-toe, bisexual. A lot of bisexual behavior going on here. A lot of Duke shoot behavior and lily licking going on out here. Monkeypox and all of this shit going on. All right, so yeah, man, you gotta be wise. Hey, bro, gotta be careful out here. Dating apps are definitely a petri dish for STIs. All right, it's the dating apps. I mean, we can swap partners really, really quickly. All right, so watch out for that. It's on the rise. It's skyrocketing, and it ain't coming down, by the way. All of these things that I've been telling you about, I kind of said that we were going to go through these things when I talked about my book, De-Evolution. I said, look, we're gonna have mass immigration. We're gonna definitely have possibly skyrocketing of STIs or a plague, and here we are. All right, so be careful out here, gentlemen. It gets a little bit hectic and rough out here. That's Doom and Gloom CGA. All right, watch out for these Duke shooters. You know, it's a lot of bisexuals out here, especially in the South. Apparently, the American South got a lot of the hibby-jibbies, and they got everybody on fire. That man is on fire. Yeah, they on fire out there. Woo, wait. All right, ninjas is on fire out there. Be careful. Okay. All right, protect yourself. It's getting kind of hectic. All right, yeah, you're going to get the antibiotics. You definitely go get them antibiotics. All right, Kaylin says, what does Kaylin say? Kaylin says, what's up, coach? I see that men are in a lose-lose situation. If a man is married, he can't be guaranteed to get the best out of his woman. If he is single and successful, he has to cover his tracks with women a lot. He says these women are just bound to ruin any and everything for a man. Diddy and Andrew Tate are showing us this. Be careful out here. Yep. I mean, they're not out here for your fun and pleasure. They're out there for what they want. It's pretty obvious. This is an interesting time, right? We're seeing the shift, the great shift in the dynamics of relationships. I mean, it is fast. In fact, I might talk about it today if we have time. I may not have time to talk about it today. All right, but we're seeing a very, very dynamic shift in today's marketplace, right? And it's happening like right in front of our eyes. It is so much so we can't even grasp it. We can't even explain it. Okay, I'm willing to explain it, but, you know, when I explained it thoroughly. And so you can make sense of it. A lot of people, in their inability to grasp onto the reality in real time, what they'll do is they'll deny the truth. They'll deny it. Or they'll say things like this. What's the solution? So what's the solution? Okay. Let me tell you something. There is no solution. There's none. And I'm not going to give you one. All right. Now, I have a solution. I'm solution oriented into giving you an idea of how you can save yourself. But in terms of getting the dating back to rescue it into what men and women want it to be in their own ideal and image, it ain't ever going back to that. All right. It's never going back to that at all.
Larry Bird's not walking through that door, fans.
Yeah.
Kevin McHale's not walking through that door, and Robert Parrish is not walking through that door. And if you expect them to walk through the door, they're going to be gray and old.
All right. Yep. It's not happening. Just to let you know. It's not happening. So get used to it. This is our new reality. I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys like this reality. But this is our new reality. I mean, good luck. I mean, I've adjusted. I've adapted. I've completely adapted to the new reality. You guys see me live this out every day, right? Right? Free agent lifestyle. All right. JUCO. And what I'm doing. That's just the new reality. Whatever it metamorphoses into or morphs into in the future, I kind of know where it's going, but it's not there anymore. It's not there. This is not coming back. Sorry. All right. I know, man. I know. For the men and the women that wanted to come back, it ain't coming back. All right. We got too many things that we've overlooked and allowed to happen. And nobody's giving an inch. For instance, single mothers, right? It's the single mother thing, right? Guys, most guys over 30 don't got nothing but single mothers to choose from. Like, Ninja, right? Come on. And these women, the women, let me see if I can show you this clip. There was a funny clip that I was going to show you. You know what? I'll make it part of Straggle and Sniggle Theater. Where's the clip at? How old is this clip? All right, I'll have to pull it up on this channel. But let me see if I can pull it up. All right, I done messed it up. All right. Yeah, I see what it is. I'll set it up because I meant to set it up, but I didn't. But yeah, women are unhealed. So they're going through a lot of stuff. So they're completely unhealed. They're actually making bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. All right, so then what happens is you're supposed to come in and fix it. This is because they're just delaying how long they get into relationships, right? When they want to take relationships seriously, they're delaying it way too long. With that being said, I'll show it in the Straggle and Sniggle clip. So let me set it up. Okay, we ready to go. Actually, I think I have a super chat. Nate Bitt says people really don't know Kamala is Caucasian. Her dad is half black and white. Her mother is Indian. Google how Indians classify. She's 3/4 Caucasian. And that's what Janet Jackson was saying. She said her dad is not black. I mean, but of course, you know, this whole black thing is one of these issues that will never go away. But Janet Jackson was saying the same thing. He is not a full black person. I mean, everybody can see that. I mean, anybody with common sense and eyes can see that. But of course, to justify a reason to vote for a person, likeness, all right? She's almost like us. Let's get into it. Straggle and Sniggle Theater.
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right?
Straggle and Sniggle Theater. And her dad is alive, by the way. He could come out and clear this bullshit up. But guess what? They don't want him to come out. They got his asses in hiding. Straggle and Sniggle Theater. What do we got here on here? We got some straggles out here. So take a look at this video right here. Let me know what you see. There it says right here. Let's go ahead and play the video.
Right here, Ma. Yes. We on YouTube right now. How big is your dick? How big is your dick?
How big is my dick?
How big is your dick?
Yeah. Not on camera. Not on camera.
Wait, question. Let's get now. We're here. Stop. We're here for the video. We're here for the video.
Oh my goodness. Look at this. How am I? Oh, the humanity. What is this, a sexual harassment?
We're here for the video. Wait. It's there though. I know. But
It's there.
Yes. Okay. Questions. We're here for the video.
Oh my goodness, man.
Yeah, that brother's starving.
Man, she's starving. Of course, this is what's going to be wrong with the dating marketplace, right? These women are going to blame, but I'm a good person to date. And she out here trying to grab at somebody's pickle right there.
Yo, chill, son.
All right. My goodness, she's starving.
Yeah, that brother's starving.
All right. Come on, man. Look, she said it's there, though. All right. She wants it. This is what happens. You know, they just starving for Johnson out here. That's why the STIs are going up. And yes, this should be an arrestable offense, shouldn't it? If you went to go grab at a woman's titty area, it would certainly be a sexual harassment or an assault.
It's there. Mom, we're here for the video.
And this is a mom. Apparently, they're saying this is a mother here. So this definitely is a young mom. Her daughter is out. They out here in these streets. All right. And you got a whole succubi trying to succubi that man.
Right here, Ma. Yes. We on YouTube right now.
We on YouTube. She drunk.
How big is your?
How big is your? Wow. I always tell you, man, they will find the right. They will find it. All right. They will find what they're looking for, Ninja. It is not a secret.
How big is your?
How big is my dick?
How big is your?
Yeah. Not on camera. Not on camera.
Oh my. Come on, lady. Get it together. All right. She's starving.
Yeah, that brother's starving.
All right, it's very sexually aggressive here. We're going to talk about that when we talk about different races of women. The black woman is definitely the most sexually aggressive when it comes to non-mates. So, you know, it's not like, you know, that they're sexually aggressive with their boyfriends or husbands. It's normally a non-mate that they're sexually aggressive with. And they do this out here, but then want to be taken seriously. It is hard to deal with them. And I'm like, not me, coach. Yes, you.
Let's get now. We're here. Stop. We're here for the video. We're here for the video.
But it's there. But it's right there. Oh my
We're here
goodness.
for the video. Wait. I know, but we're here for the
Yeah, man, she's starving.
Yeah, that brother's starving.
She's starving. Look at this ninja. He ready to go.
Niggas always gotta show they teeth.
Oh my goodness. That is a crime that she's committing. Is it a crime? It is a crime. All right, we got Straggle Sniggle Theater. I think I have an advert coming up here on World Star.
In 300
World,
feet,
hey,
turn left.
we don't want to hear all
We're
that.
partying, you know.
All right, so we got Straggle Sniggle Theater. We have a woman that says she's a different breed. She admits to letting a whole football team run a train on her at the same time. Okay, I'm hoping the train is at the same time. All right, so I don't know who this woman they're interviewing, but they got a clip of this woman, and she looks, she definitely is a pog, all right, or this is definitely a thick Latino or a Middle Eastern chick. I'm going to say probably Latino or white. All right, she lets a whole football team run a train on her. Let's continue.
Partying, you know, everything is, and then nighttime hit, and it was just me and my friend. Every girl left already to the dorm and stuff. And we decided to F every single football player in the house. Together. Like, we went to each and every single room and we were knocking on the doors to open up.
And you let every single football player hit?
Me and my friend, yeah. But it wasn't that big of a house. It was just like 10 guys in a house, and it was just me and my friend.
Okay.
All right, now I know people be like, Coach, man, this is not true. This is right here. All right, that's the aunt of a guy on Twitch. All right, shout out to her. She a gordita. All right, well, she looks like it. All right, so there you go right there. It's wild out here. It's open season, and people say, Coach, this cannot be true. All right, no women really do this. First of all, they do. They do. In fact, there was a woman that actually got the punk god Matt Araiza arrested. Or not arrested, actually sued for grape, and she did that at a party. And it was a high school girl. It was a girl who was 17, a high school student, showed up at San Diego State at a football party or a party, and she got boned by several men, all right? And she was going around the whole party. Do you want some punani? Do you want some punani? And when men were turning her down, she was calling them gay. She was like, what, are you gay? And it was a flatback. It was a flatback, and she went from dude to dude, and several dudes hit it that night, all right, including, we know 3 or 4 dudes hit it that night, all right, but her friends were like at least 4 or 5, maybe 6 guys took the offer, all right, yeah, men are simple, but there it is right there, man. Look, these things do happen. Women do come in here. These type of women do come in here, and they have fun.
Partying, you know, everything is, and then nighttime hit. And it was just me and my friend. Every girl left already to the dorm and stuff. And we decided to F every single football player in the house. Together. Like, we went to each and every single room and we were knocking on the doors to open up.
And you let every single football player hit?
Me and my friend, yeah. But it wasn't that big of a house. It was just like 10 guys in a house, and it was just me and my friend.
Okay.
All right. Just 10 guys. It wasn't that big of a house. Just 10. All right, just 10. All right, wow. Woo-wee. You guys got to watch out, man. It can happen that easy if they do get a little bit fiending and women get in heat. All right, men be like, she lying. Okay, really? Really? women don't get in heat?
video. Next. Okay, questions. We're here for the video.
Yeah, there you go right there. All right. Ninjas think women don't be out here fucking. All right. It's funny. It's funny. You know, men think women don't be out here having sex. Like, dudes be like, she lying. There's ninjas always be. I'm like, guys, dude, women having sex. Look, what more proof do you want, guys? What more proof do you want? I mean, dudes be out here just hoping. I hope she's lying, coach. I hope they're not out here having sex. Let me tell you something, guys. Women like sex. Okay? Women like sex, bruh. Somebody says he still hit it. Of course he still hit it. Men don't have men act like that. I wouldn't even touch that girl. You still gonna hit. But guys, you're acting like women don't have sex. They don't like sex out here. Like they gotta love somebody and have somebody say they love them. And I'll think about it. No, they're out here. Lots of women want to fuck. They want to get out here and get real ramrodded. They do. And I say more power to them. But man, bruh, this will tell you right here. This will tell you. Ninjas be like, they lying. Dude, women can hand out peace leave really fast. Like Halloween candy. Really quickly. All right, Straggle Sniggle Theater, we have this guy who is Cassidy Campbell. He's known for doing pranks. And he's going to allegedly prank this single mama right here, a Latina. Another Latina. Oh, boy, the Latinas are making it crazy. So Cassidy Campbell's going to come into the screen. And this woman is allegedly shopping with her kid, and she overhears the conversation, and she gets very thirsty. Here we go.
How long you been a single mom for? Sweetie. Yeah. No, I saw the picture on Facebook of you and the kid. Oh. You know I love kids, baby. I'll take them to the dog park. Throw the ball around with them. Have them chase it, baby. Excuse me, sweetie? Excuse me, sweetie. Do you know which one? I heard that it's not good to shampoo your dogs. What's your name, by the way?
Deannica.
Deannica. John, baby.
Nice to meet you.
What am I going to do with you, Deannica, baby? Well, you're single?
I am.
Well, how about I get your number? We go out to dinner sometime. What do you like? What kind of food do you like?
All food.
All food? Me too. Okay, well, we go to sushi. Go to sushi?
Sure.
All right.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that brother's starving.
She leaking. She leaking. I mean, this is a very, very vicious, good, cold approach right there. And she is leaking.
Yeah, that brother's starving.
All right, she ready to get folded up like a love letter from the second grade. You can see why she's a single mom. She makes horrible decisions. Look at her decision-making process here. All right, she definitely going to get skeeted in and be single mother twice over. All right, but she ready to go. This is definitely Riz 10.0 by Cassidy Campbell. He is a professional. He's been doing this for many, many years. So he knows what to say. His practice has become perfect for sure. But she ready to go. And so he set her up. The interesting part about this is that he set her up talking about a single mom previously. Like this is how sad it is, right? So for men, you're out here struggling, right? Oh, women should do that. You're trying to figure out how to date. You're frustrated. Then dating coaches tell you, spin plates. Then you're like, that's not going to work. And then this ninja is on the phone with a single mom talking to her allegedly about the Facebook picture. And he's on the phone. He just hung up and she still takes his number. Hey, she still takes his number, right? She don't mind. She ready to go. You know why? Because she needs a baby daddy, right? She needs a baby daddy.
I'm Peppy.
And so the look on her face, she was like, oh, Lord, all right. Wow, we got a sucker. We got a sucker MC. Here we go right here. Oh, this guy dates single mothers. He's one of the good ones.
What's his name?
Enzo.
How you doing? Enzo, you like sports?
No.
Baseball, basketball? You like dogs? Oh, wait till you see my dogs.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God, this thing's acting up. About to get a new iPhone.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
What the hell?
Are you
yeah.
from here?
Not originally.
Okay, where are you from originally?
New Mexico.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, well, I will shoot you a text.
Cool.
And when are you free? Weekends?
Every other.
Every other weekend.
Gotcha, bitch.
And somebody said he's tall and white. Yep, that's a cheat code in the dating game. No matter if you want to like it or not. Tall and white will get your foot in the door. And it will get her skeeted in.
Gotcha, bitch.
All right, she ready to go.
Every other weekend? Okay, sweetheart. Well, hope you have a great rest of your...
All right, so there you go right there. Another single mammy got.
Gotcha, bitch.
All right. Another single mammy making poor decisions with her kid in tow.
Gotcha, bitch.
All right, this is what they out here doing, but they're making you out here. You need to take us on a date and treat us right in marriage. I'm marriage minded.
Gotcha, bitch.
No, you're not. No, you're not. You're a single mom and you got low self-esteem and you're gonna let him hit.
How long you been a single mom for?
And look at her face. How long you been a single mom for? She's like a sucker MC. Watch this.
Sweetie.
She's like, oh my God, this is my lucky day.
Yeah. No, I saw the picture on Facebook of you and the kid.
She listening. Look at all this ear hustling, man. They be extra nosy.
And that's you.
They be extra nosy with Edgar's baby all in there with his iPad with hot Cheetos and shit. Stealing food at the grocery store. You know they stealing chips at the grocery store and grapes and strawberries.
Oh. You know I love kids, baby. I'll take them to the dog park.
Oh, she leaking right now.
Yeah, that brother's starving.
She leaking. Look at her. She leaking. She just... Peace leaf just boiling. All right, she like a sucker. Got a sucker.
And that's you.
Throw the ball around with them. Have them chase it, baby.
She's like, oh my God, Edgar, Enzo, we got a sucker ass nigga. Because Edgar's like, Mom, why we just sitting here? Why we just sitting here? She's like, I'm looking for something, a sucker.
And that's you.
All right, boiling peace leave. And she a fine little Latina bitch, but you know she crazy. All right. Damn, see, I told you, one of the things you guys are going to have to figure out is that a lot of your moms was out here 304ing. Your moms was out here 304ing. All right, that was you in the shopping cart, and your mama getting picked up by guys and getting tossed out here. Okay, so that was some of y'all's mamas out here needing rent to get paid for sure. They was definitely trying to get some rent paid.
Your rent's due, motherfucker.
Damn. All right, she's like, woo wee. All right, I got to suck at MC. All right, I'm gonna see if I can play this clip. This is from Bravo. They normally might do something to my stream when I play this clip, so let me see if I can do this. All right, it's a minute and a half. Let's see if I can sneak it past them. I probably won't be able to, but when we talk about different dynamics or relationships with women, one of the things that we talk about is leverage and options. It gives more control to the guy, and that requires you to either get your game up or your bag up, right? Most of the time it's the bag, because what'll happen is you can enter and leave the relationships without being attached to this person financially, right? So no 50-50 partnerships, none of that. Now, women want 50-50 partnerships, and some women want men to be the man. Why don't you be the man and pay all the bills? Why don't you lead and call all the shots? In many cases, you can't win. Right? You can't win in many of these cases, right? You're trying to win and then you can't win. So I'm going to show you a clip of a woman who has a man who pays all the bills and she's still pissed. Guys, you can't win. Guys, ladies, where y'all at? You cannot win with women. You give them what they want, they're going to complain about it. They're going to be mad about it. They have this inferiority complex that we simply can't overcome and navigate, especially because we're weak as men. We just gave up the ghost, especially you single mother, son, husband, raised ninjas. So this is a clip apparently from a TV show on Bravo called Real Housewives of P. I don't know what P is. Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh. I don't know what it is. Philadelphia. Apparently she has a zaddy right here.
Get him, daddy.
This is her zaddy. This is the wife, I suppose. Her hubby, Michael. Looks like he has the big money. All right.
Get him, daddy.
And when she got him, she probably was like,
okay, daddy.
All right. So now what's going to happen is Michael is exerting too much power and influence and leverage over her, and she doesn't like it. So here we go.
What do you want to talk about?
Why do you try to fight?
Because you know that you have leverage over me, and so you exercise it at every opportunity, and I'm not going to stand for it. I'm not going to let you do that to me right now. This is not the time.
You've blown up into this all day, and not one sorry.
I'm not going to apologize to you.
Don't say sorry.
You have no idea what the thought and the process that's gone into this event. You have no idea. You, child. Okay. I'm so sick of you. I'm sick of. I don't want it anymore. No, I don't. I don't actually. I don't want him here.
Well, then I get a choice as owner. Do I want this event or not?
Sure, do that.
Fair.
Go ahead.
Isn't it?
Do that. Flex your muscle.
Isn't that fair?
Flex your muscle.
All right, so here we go right here. This is a prime example, gentlemen, of the women that say he needs to pay the bills. He needs to do this. He needs to do that. But then when you do that, you're gonna flex your muscle. You have too much leverage over me, guys. In a sense, what I'm going to tell you is, gentlemen, a lot of guys are trying to find solutions in this dating marketplace and not trying to find themselves. You think that if you do this thing for a woman in a relationship, she's going to be satisfied. She's not. She's going to find a way to bitch and complain about it. All right. And she's going to then play the victim. Oh my God, I can't believe you're making me actually pay 50-50. That's what you asked for, a partnership. Oh my God, why can't these men pay all the bills? I'll pay all the bills. And then when you pay all the bills and you flex your power and might, it's you're too much leverage. You're flexing your muscles. You can't win. So when you have the leverage and guys, they will feel like they can't leave. All right. And there it is right there. They be looking at you like this. All right. Right here. I'm not happy. He's controlling me and financially abusing me. Just flex your muscles. Okay. Do what you want to do. I can't stop you anyway. You just got so much leverage over me. I'm not happy. All right. They're insatiable. They cannot be satisfied. You give them the world, they're going to find a way to complain about it. I'm not happy. All right. Goodness gracious, man. Look at her. She's going to stomp off. Oh, my God. Watch her stomp off here.
Do what you need to do. You're not my partner. You're my f***ing parent. I'm over you.
You're not my partner. You're my parent. Dude, he probably paying all of the bills. He probably paying for all of it. You're not my partner. You're my parent. You're not my daddy. You can't help them, man. I'm going to stomp and kick and scream and cry until I get my way. I'm going to hold my breath. I'm going to go on a hunger strike. I'm going to go on a hunger strike and look at him. He trying to figure her out. Don't figure her out, fam. She bugging. She bugging.
I'm thirsty. Oh, Jesus Christ. I've never experienced so much anger in my life.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. For him to say to me that he's going to close his restaurant down, it's a pretty harsh reminder that
what?
My husband essentially really does hold all of the reins. He holds all the power in this relationship.
He holds all the power. See, to them, it's always about power. So it's always about the power that they don't have. And they're always trying to find a reason to try to figure out how they can grasp power. This is why I told you yesterday, 50-50 is a grasp for power. It's her buying out of responsibilities and duties. It is not to help you financially, gentlemen. You find this as a reason why, wow, I got a real woman. A real woman would pay 50-50. Guys, that's not what they're doing. They're not trying to help you grow. They're not trying to help you build. And really, there's no such thing as 50-50. So it's always about leverage and power. When they don't have it, they're trying to find a way to struggle and get it. Even if you pay, she said his restaurant. He's going to close his restaurant. Obviously, it's his to close. And you were working in it. So now women try to find a way to get their own restaurant. I'm going to get my own restaurant. All right, yeah. Go ahead. All right, go ahead and get your own restaurant. All right, you know what it takes for me to have bought this own restaurant, invested, managers, hire people. All right, it takes a hell of a lot of an effort. And good luck. Go ahead. All right, he was giving you the simple job, and you simply couldn't stay in your place. You had to go and buck the system, and now you're standing outside. So he's now trying to negotiate with this. But again, you give up your leverage and power when you do marry. All right, when you marry, you give up your leverage. All right, because now she has the leverage. Again, she gets to play the victim. She gets to say, hey, I couldn't do this, and he didn't let me do that, and he controlled me, and he felt more like a father. He didn't let me do this. He kept me on a tight budget. All right, so these are the things that will ultimately come back and bite you in the ass in the leverage and power game. But yeah, I mean, even women, for women, even sex is about power. Even sex is about power, especially because they tend to go after guys that are high status, high power, influential, people with leverage. So she then feels like she's in a submission, even if the guy's just stronger, right? A bigger, stronger guy. That's a power dynamic. Men typically don't think about it as power because the majority of men are trying to give away power to give sex, right? You also are trying to become, you're getting lucky to have sex. So you're looking at her as giving the power to you. Oh, I got lucky. She gave it to me. So that's where their head is all the time. And simply because they have an inferiority complex. I can't solve it. All right. I can't solve it for you. All right. But anyway, I actually can give you some alternatives. All right. Last one on Straggle Sniggle Theater. We have David Banner. I know a lot of you guys are like, David Banner? Yes, David Banner. He is a rapper or a former rapper. And he says this, that he is on the hunt for a wife. Here it is.
I'm not going to let you get out of here without playing The Bachelor. David Banner's looking for his wife. What does that mean?
Yeah, man. I don't know. I love people for who they are. You know, my mom told me that. My mom said one thing that she liked about me is I've never brought the same woman in her house before. That, you know, I try to find God in everybody. The only reason why I made that statement, man, to be honest with you, it wasn't for baiting or none of those things. It's just that my therapist told me, he said, David Banner, you always talking about the people, what you want to see for Black people. He said, but you don't treat yourself like that. Like, bro, think about all this success that I've been able to have in my life, bro. But I don't have just about any of the things that matter the most. The things that matter the most are for free, but you usually only get one of them. I've always wanted children, bro. I've always been one of the few people, bro, that wanted a family, you know, and all those things. And I've gotten just about everything else I wanted in my life, and except those things that really matter, bro. And if I die and don't have children, bro, I think I failed the reason why we're here to exist. We talk all of that stuff, but we are here to keep God's image. I think all of us together, if we were combined and could put all our faces together, that would be God. And if I don't allow my children to be on this planet, bro, then I die when I die. You know, having children, having somebody else. And I also think, man, like, I wrote this short poem one time. I said that I chased my dreams so hard that when I finally raised my head, I realized I ran off and left everything else. Hard as
I can do some shuffling too. Look out, man, what you gonna do? Look out, boys, it's coming through. Yeah, man, yeah, man.
All right, I didn't imagine that this was going to take this direction here. I didn't preview the clip. I just saw the title and I said, oh, this would be an interesting clip to watch and review. What in the hell is he talking about?
Shut up!
All right, what is he talking about? Wowzers. All right, I didn't anticipate it going this direction. So let me go ahead and continue playing. He's doing a lot of philosophizing. All right, he's a philosopher. And so if you don't know, David Banner, he had a song like Stuntin' Like Me. And what was that, the 2000s? It had to be the mid 20-aughts, right? So it was like 2005, something like that. I can't remember. But now he's a philosopher. Now he's a pro-Black. I think he's a pro-Black. So I think he's always talking about pro-Black issues and stuff like that. I think I might have that correct. Now he's got poems. I think he's bored. Is he bored? All right. He's from Memphis. I think he's bored. All right. I think he wants something to do. All right. Listen, by the way, you can be 50 and start a family as a male. All right. Because you can be one as a female, but I think he has boredom. What is going on with you, David Banner?
We work. You know, your nephews, you know, my mama or her cousins, as soon as I die, come take all that stuff for free. But unless I have children, bro, unless I'm able to pass something on, then that matters. I just want to say this to Black men. Who you choose as your wife, bro, especially if you're successful, can change the whole lifeline of somebody else's lineage, bro. It's like we work so hard to become all of these things, and then we give it away, I think, you know, without responsibility, bro. And I don't mean just the cars and the houses. I mean your DNA. Bro, one thing I thought about, man, and maybe I'm a deep thinker, and Big Daddy Kane told me to stop worrying about overthinking. He said, most people don't think at all. So he said, Banner, I'm glad you overthink. But I think about this, man, for our DNA to be so strong, even from a sports perspective, we're not even talking about a spiritual perspective. We irresponsibly give it away to groups of people who historically have never cared about us, bro. And so when I make that statement, I want y'all to know that I'm saying that statement with responsibility. And I also want people to know that we're human. I'll leave y'all with this, bro. Snoop told me one time, he said, Banner, bro, I really respect you and bro, I really thank you. And I say, why? He said, you are one of the only people on this planet that ever called me and asked me how I'm doing. And I said, you know why I do that? He said, why? I said, because don't nobody ever call me and ask me how I'm doing. So when I say those kind of things, I just try to put out to people that we still human, that we still hurt, and that we still, long for things that people long for each and every day, bro. And I really, really appreciate your interview. I really appreciate the questions that you asked, bro. And bro, continue to grow, man. And we need people like you out here in media, man. Keep going. And somebody told me once, dog, they said it's not, what people would think about you in 5 years, or what they think about you in 20 years, is what they'll think about you in 200 years, if they even know you existed.
Okay. I didn't see that. That took a dark turn there. That is not what I anticipated happening there. I don't even have anything to say, but I do have this to say. I mean, these celebrities, they can't do what the Notorious CGA can do. That's for damn sure. What the hell was he talking about? All right. Well, I'm trying to what was the point of what?
What that mean?
All right. He was jumping all over the place. Do you see? I make this look easy. You think this shit is easy, huh? You think talking in front of people, thousands and thousands of people every week, millions and millions of views every week. You think it's easy, isn't it? You think bringing forth good talking points and clarity is easy. I make this shit look easy. This guy been performing in front of millions of people, and bruh, he didn't make sense the entire time. He jumped around. Oh my goodness. All right, listen, first of all, yes, at 50, you could start a family. That's part of the free agent lifestyle, which means you get leverage, which he has somewhat got leverage somewhere. I don't know what his money stands. I'm not here to count his pocket, but he's got leverage. All right, so now he can look at the possibilities of starting a family and be a little bit more discerning and picky as opposed to being desperate. So I think on the premise, he's right. However, he started talking about legacy and being forgotten about after 200 years. Most of us have been forgotten about. We will be forgotten about, long gone for a long time. The great few of us will be remembered. The Chocolate Confucius, they may remember me. They may not remember me. All right, most people are remembered not for anything positive, right? Even Genghis Khan, the thing they remember him of is that he had a lot of babies. So even that's there, but he's trying to be remembered and make an impact and talking about black community issues, great DNA, and all of these things, and choosing right partners. There was some great sense in there, but it was all over the place. It wasn't put together very thoughtfully, and you could tell he overthinks even when he's talking. But yeah, I mean, I think the premise is Vivica A. Fox was talking about getting married, and she was well into her 60s. David Banner is in his 50s. He's in his early 50s, and he's talking about starting a family, which is highly possible. Now, is it necessary? Are you going to protect yourself against a divorce? Are you going to put the things that you need in place to protect whatever wealth that you might continue to have and pass on to your descendants? Are you going to be smart about it, David? That is the key. Are you going to be smart about this? Or are you just going to go in there and find you a black quang, all right, and then throw it all down the toilet? All right, so interesting commentary there. That's why I had his ass on Straggle Sniggle Theater. Wowzers.
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right?
Straggle and Sniggle, hit the like button. Do me a favor, hit the like button. The likes are absolutely ridiculously egregious. We have 2,000 people watching, which is probably around 3,000 to 4,000 people knowing YouTube. You're hiding my numbers. It's crazy. Do me a favor, hit the like button and get this show off on a great start. We're not even midway. We're in the first hour of today's show, so it would be great if we can get more people in, another maybe 4,000 or 5,000 people in by hitting that like button. Okay. All right. Jesus. Okay, Crime and Law CGA, let's do it. All right, we're gonna zip past this stream. I'm gonna tell you, this stream is gonna go by really quickly. All right, Crime and Law CGA. We have this right here. It says, mom wanted time alone after a rough day, so she drowned her 7-year-old daughter in a crick, all right, as they call it there. Where's my crime and law button? Here it is right here. Where is it? All right, hold on for a second. We'll do it live. I'm running out of buttons. Oh, I went backwards. That's what happened. All right, I was wondering what was going on here. Mom wanted time alone after a rough day, so she drowned her 7-year-old in a crick. All right, as they say in the crick there. There's the mama of the year. There's the 7-year-old daughter. Unbelievable. Poor thing. All right, this is definitely Susan Smith all over again. And not a surprise, she's a single mammy. Chunky-faced woman. Look at that. Look at that meathead. All right, let's play the video here of Mother of the Year.
Jacksonville police arrested 33-year-old Brandy Elliott on Saturday. She is charged with first-degree murder in the death of her 7-year-old daughter, Piper. Elliott told officers she wanted time alone after having a rough day, but that Piper would not leave her alone. So Elliott took her across the street to the lake and admitted to holding the child's head underwater until she stopped breathing. Piper later died at the hospital. Hendersonville police are...
Wow, Jesus, man. La Llorona. All right, legit, real La Llorona here. What an evil individual this is. And so you have the father. Again, I'm going to talk about this later on Instagram. Where is father's rights? Why aren't fathers being contacted? Why don't fathers get a choice? All this women's rights this and women's rights that, it's all bullshit, because when we start saying, well, we want rights to protect ourselves against paternity fraud, which is not illegal. We want rights to have our say in the birth of a child and or the custody of a child, instead of you dropping the child off at a fire station. All right, and not giving the father the opportunity to say, well, I'll take the child. Deliver the child. I'll take the child off your hands. All right. We also are not fighting hypervigilantly to get the courts to stop making these women make men fight for their children. All right, nobody cares. That's why we don't care about your bodily autonomy either. I don't give a fuck about it either. All right, but the reality is, if you're not fighting for our rights, I ain't fighting for yours. Why couldn't the father have custody of this kid? Even if he was a deadbeat, which he wasn't. She probably was a deadbeat because she took the kid away from the father, and he gave up because he didn't have no moves left. He didn't have no money to fight her. So instead, she drowns the kid in the river or the creek. All right, instead. That's what she chose to do. Piper's bothering me. So I just want some time alone. You about to get a whole bunch of time alone. All right, in the clink, that's where you about to get it.
Arrested 33-year-old Brandy Elliott on Saturday. She is charged with first-degree murder in the death of her 7-year-old daughter, Piper.
Piper, all right, that definitely is another last name, first name, but shout out to her. Piper, rest in peace to Piper. All right, man. Mama got her. Jesus.
Elliott told officers she wanted time alone after having a rough day, but that Piper would not leave her alone.
Leave me alone. Okay, send the kid to the dad's house. Can't do that. Nah, he ain't getting no custody. This is crazy, bro. Like, who's the deadbeat? Who's the deadbeats out here? All right, crazy. All right, we have another Mother of the Year here.
When Mom Teleka...
We have another Mother of the Year. Let's start off with this woman right there. There's another mammy. All right, look at these mammies out here. Oh, my. Is that a neck tattoo? Not a shock. This mother has been accused of shooting her 13-year-old daughter in the neck. All right. And the daughter didn't die. And what did she do? Since the daughter didn't die, after she walked away, found the daughter still alive, she called the police and blamed another black person. Yes, she blamed a 1-900 blame a ninja. Okay, here we go.
When Mom Teleka Brown spoke with first responders after her 13-year-old daughter was shot yesterday afternoon, this was what she told them.
Mom is advising that she arrived home like this. She came home, but she was already bleeding and apparently had a gunshot wound to the back of her neck.
And they're advising that the patient was shot in her neck by a homeless person.
But prosecutors say the mom was the one who allegedly pulled the trigger and shot her daughter in the neck after an argument. According to court documents, the daughter told investigators she then fell down the stairs and couldn't move. She was taken to the hospital in critical condition. Brown is now charged with first-degree attempted murder. Acting Seat Pleasant Police Chief Cedric Hayward saying in a statement, "It is always tragic when we have acts of violence within our community, but it is heart-wrenching when the perpetrator is supposed to be your protector." Maryland court records show Taleka Brown was accused in a domestic violence case last year, with a judge granting a temporary stay-away order. It's not clear from who or where.
And it's all Jermaine's fault. It's always Jermaine's fault.
So here we go again. Same story, guys. You guys think I make these stories up about the nature and dynamics of relationships? Okay, some relationships are boring. Some relationships are good. But when they're bad, they are bad. They lead to a lot of people. Jail, arrests, debt, child support. I mean, it gets bad. So she had somebody in her life. Maybe it was the child's father. We don't know. Probably was not. The kid was 13. Probably was multiple men in her life. Now she ended up in domestic violation court, and there's a TRO granted on her side. And guess what? She ends up showing who the real problem was. It wasn't Jermaine.
And it's all Jermaine's fault.
The problem
It's
is you.
always
And
Jermaine's
she has 2 nose rings, so you know that's a whole red flag. More red flags than a Chinese Communist parade.
Brown was also temporarily ordered to surrender any guns. The records show the final stay-away order was later denied because there was no statutory basis for relief. As for the 13-year-old daughter, police say she's now recovering at the hospital. According to court documents, the teen told investigators her mom allegedly asked her to lie and say she was shot by an intruder.
Wow, dang. Man, the mom said, hey, I shot you, but tell the police I didn't shoot you. All right. But you're looking at a picture of the mother. They're not putting the picture of the daughter on the screen. Come on, guys. Can't catch up. Y'all got to catch up fast. Y'all catching up too slow. That obviously is the mother. All right. I know she looks young for a mother, but that is the mother on the screen. All right. So, well, that's not the mother there on the screen. That is Ling Ling reporting from the scene of the crime. So this is the mother. All right. This is not the child in the situation here. This is the mother. All right. She looks young, doesn't she? Definitely was a teenage mama. She probably ain't no older than, she probably had the kid at 13. All right, so, yeah. Then she shot her in the neck and said, tell police that a ninja did it. Wow, they don't care about y'all black men at all, do they? Your sisters don't care about you ninjas.
By an intruder.
And Brown is scheduled to appear in Prince George's County Court tomorrow afternoon for a bond review hearing. In Seat Pleasant, Amy Cho, News 4.
According to court documents, Brown told police the gun in the house wasn't hers. Prosecutors say Brown is not currently banned from possessing a gun.
All right, there it is. 2 Ling Lings right there reporting from the scene of the crime of ninjas. All right, doing ninja shit. This is insane. All right, ninjas are real slow. All right, that's the 13-year-old. Why would they put the 13-year-old on here? All right, so anyway, what is this? Crime and Law CGA? This has really nothing to do with crime or law. Maybe, maybe not. All right, men are not at work. Men are leaving the workforce. I actually reported on this back in the day, like 2018, 2019, and there was a guy, Chris Whalen, an accountant guy, talking about this. And now the mainstream media, who is part and parcel the reason why men are leaving work, these people are going to find out why men are leaving the workforce. Just the newest place where men are getting out of the bullshit lifestyle that is the utility of society. Here we go. Long ass
Men
video.
have been steadily dropping out of the workforce, especially men aged 25 to 54, who are often considered to be in their prime working years. As of August 2024, 13.7% of prime-age men were not working, compared to just 7.2% in 1954.
The long-term decline in labor force participation by so-called prime-age men is a tremendous worry for our society, for our economy, and probably also for our political system.
There's a surplus of prime-age workers who could be working and aren't, and that's this puzzling problem.
The unemployment rate for prime-age working men sat at 3.4% in August 2024. This number primarily includes those who are unemployed and looking for a job. But about 10.5% of men in their prime working years, or roughly 6.8 million men nationwide, are neither working nor looking for employment, compared to just 2.5% in 1954.
What's surprising is it's not a COVID phenomenon. It's not a recession phenomenon.
And for every prime age man who is unemployed and looking for a job, there are more than 3, and some years 4, who are neither working nor looking for work.
Let me stop them right here. As you can see, they shuffling. All right, they shuffling. So, you know, it was fine and dandy when you was out there getting passed over for opportunities and they were promoting women and you were getting Me Too'd and all of that shit, and you had to take a back step so women could get promoted over you. It was all fine and dandy. Just keep doing your job. But now men have obviously said, nah, we ain't going to be in here. Fuck all that. It's the corporate world that men are leaving. Now, there's some things that men are not leaving. There are men are finding a new way to earn money. This has always kind of been the pivot. They're finding new ways to earn money. So in this chart, I would be unemployed and not looking for work because they don't consider this to be a job. Men tend to be trendsetters and go find opportunities to work and find money, particularly, let's say, the gig economy. So you have men that will drive Uber and Lyft and say, fuck it. All right. Now, why don't you go get a real job? Nah, fuck all that. All right. Men can live off far less. And they're staying single longer, so they don't need to be out there working at a traditional job and trying to keep up in the dating marketplace. What do you do for a living? I make money, baby. I hustle, I grind, I do my gig economy work, and then I get the fuck off. All right? That's it. All right? I do jobs that people don't consider real work. If you even look at like YouTube for myself, right? Twitch, streaming, all right? The majority of it is men, all right, that are trying to find a way to make a lot of money, and they make a lot of money, not considered a real job. People still aren't even catching up with that. YouTube is not a real job. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Keep believing that shit because you're going to find out that a lot of dudes are able to make lots of money, and women. Social media is really a business. So is it the best business model? No, it's a new form of business, which has a lot of things that people are figuring out. So you got the gig economy. Men are dropping out of corporate. And men are doing alternative things and lifestyles, if you will, to make money. All right. They're starting their own businesses at greater rates, even though they say women are starting businesses. You know, the whole idea of playing office, it doesn't appeal to men, especially young men, especially the ages they identified with. Now, let me just take you through the cycle. Women tend to want to follow what men do. All right, so they've always followed what men do. Men want to work a factory. Here comes Rosie the Riveter. All right, and women can do it too. All right, then you actually evolved into the corporate lifestyle. Once everything got easier in air conditioning offices and desks, typewriters, word processors, computers, and all of this shit, here come the women. We want in there. We want to do it too. Gyms, all right, education. But guys realize real fast that they're going to be basically bottlenecked out of these competitions now that there's more women. So men have to be a little bit more innovative. Then they started to find gig economy work. All right. They started to find other ways to earn money as opposed to getting up and playing office and all of that stuff. And COVID actually probably made more men just drop out of that completely. Oh, fuck this. All right. Return back to the office. Hell no. So women tend to follow what men do. And then when they get in there, men leave. It's the same thing that happened with colleges. Colleges were seen definitely as a bastion of where white men primarily got their advantage, the privilege. All right. And of course, they had black colleges, but that was for more agricultural and technology issues. And I'm not talking about modern day technology. I'm talking about very much old, dated, outdated technology. Okay, so men, is particularly white men, got their advantage because they were able to go get an education. So that then led other people to say, well, a mind is a terrible thing to waste for blacks, then black women, then women, white women. Everybody's like, well, if white men are getting the power through college and education, we want to go too. Only for them to go in there, and then they take the white guys primarily and say, great culture and patriarchy. It became overly feministic. So the general studies, the general education started to be less appealing for men. All right, it's particularly white men and certainly for black men. It's like, whoa. Now, today's metrics, and I haven't had an article I was going to present, but they basically said men are falling behind women. Men are falling behind. And the metrics are purchasing of real estate, houses, Single family houses. Not apartments, not land, not industrial, not commercial, not houses that they use for Airbnb. It's simply single family residences. Women are now dominating, single women. Education, college, women are now dominating. Some colleges have like 65% women. All right, corporate jobs, employment, women are now dominating. So then they say men are falling behind, but still men out-earn women. So how can you have both? So these metrics are measured by old standards that are simply just falling away. The corporate industry as a means of, hey, you made it to the top in white collar. Men, there's a lot of guys that can find ways to make way more money in a calendar week than they can make in a month at a corporate job. So this whole thing right here is talking about the men are not doing our bidding. They're leaving the workforce. That means they're dropping out. They're not dropping out. They're not dropping out completely. All right. Some men are, but same thing with dating. How come these men are dropping out? They're not manning up. They're not doing X, Y, and Z. They're like, there's no benefit. Where's the benefit? Same thing as David Banner. Men are dropping out of relationships and marriage because they can literally live a better, more safer, more frugal, more minimalistic lifestyle than to be the utility for women. And look at the women you're getting. These chest-thumping alpha women who want equality and to handpick you and to cuck you out. All right, so, yeah, he says men are working on contracts as contractors. They're just getting contracts, and they'll just be like, whatever. All right, they're not coming out here to try to serve the Almighty. Now, that's where they say, well, what do we need to do? We need to get these guys back in college. No, we don't. Men don't need college like that. Now, women tend to need college like that, but they're coming out with the debt. With these ideas, men are dropping out of college. Women are surpassing men. Who still has all of the debt? It's not the guys. It's the women. So it is a funny scenario there where the media tries to clamor on to figure out why you aren't going to be used as a utility. Well, look at the Me Too movement. Nobody wants to go into these places and be constantly told that you're a predator, a sexual harasser, all right? And that, like nobody wants to be constantly told that. Watching, we need a woman we need more women in the workforce. We need more women to be CEOs and middle managers. And you just getting passed up and passed up and passed up. All right, you work 10 years. Some lady comes in with her degree from Georgetown, works 2 years, and now is your manager. But then she teams up with you. Hey, let's do a group project. Let's team up as a team. Takes your ideas and runs off and is like, oh, I came up with that. They celebrate her. Men are like, fuck that. I'm out. I'm out. So it is literally, we are the problem. And there's nobody trying to find the real solutions. I'm actually giving people thoughts on what the real issue is. Nobody wants to hear it. Just man up. Just do it. Okay, you want us to man up? We'll man up and we'll be by ourselves. Fuck it. We'll be at the JUCO because you're going to be at the JUCO, ma'am. All right, these corporations can't last employing all women. They can't last. All right, they're not going to last. It's not going to last. It's going to, those things are going to dry the fuck up real quick. Those corporate jobs are going to dry up. Because all those fake jobs that they got, all these people doing half the work all day. All right, them corporations going to dry up. They're going to figure out that they cannot make money. They're going to need men to make the money. Okay, just because you draw a paycheck from a corporation doesn't mean that corporation is doing very well. A lot of that money is from government entities that are getting, these corporations are getting kickbacks to hire certain people. But go in there and play office. These men are not coming in to play office. All right? Nobody wants to come in and play your little game of office. The beta males will go in there. But masculine men or men are trying to find themselves and discover who they are, they're not going there to play a little goofy office game. Let me show you this. Let me see here. Let's see here. See if I can find it. Second here. I'm going to give you, this is what these workforces, especially with the TV shows. The TV shows be showing you what you exactly don't want to go into as a workforce. Oh, I can't find it. Oh, here it is right here. Let me see if I can find the name of this show. See if I can find the name of this show. Okay. I found it. Found it. It's called Abbott Elementary. Let me see if I can pull it up on the Google search. Okay, here we go right here. Here we go right here. This is a perfect example. All right, this is a perfect example of what the workforce looks like. Look at this. All right, so this is a show called Abbott Elementary. This is kind of demonstrating the demographics of what men face. You see, they got two black men. One's the motherfucking janitor. All right, the other one probably the coach. And you got everybody else playing office, dressed up, hair, makeup, nails, esthetician, vagina waxing, all of that. You got the old school mom. We got 3 black women. You got the white dude probably gay. All right, you got look, it's a majority women. This is an example, and that's a school. That's a school. And I'm pretty sure they got a gay, a bisexual, a handicap. They probably got all the demographics. Does this look like a fun place for men to be? And the white dude is gay? Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. Like, does this look like a fun place for men to be? Who wants to be in this shit every day? All right. Nobody wants to be here. Nobody wants to be here. Men will be like, okay, I'm done. Because you can't be you. You can't be who you are. Drop the fuck. I'm out. Y'all can have it and watch all of the problems ensue once men completely drop off. The old janitor, he got to be there. He can't do nothing about it. But look at these demos and the demographics. Let me see here. Let's see here. Let me see if I can find The Office. I can't find it. I can't find it. Yeah, that looks like a rest haven for beta males. Nobody wants to be around any of these people, and you out here just constantly being put down. Try to find some images of the workforce out here, of The Office. Okay, I don't even know what shows these are. Okay, just so you can see it on your screen. There's another show here. I guess this is The Office. Again, nobody wants to be around these goofballs and beta males and shit like this. Nobody wants to be around these people. Here's another one, The Workforce, right here. Here's another one. What is this show right here? Look, there ain't a ninja in here. Look at all these goofies. All right, and these are TV shows. I know, I get it. But look at these goofballs down here at the bottom of the right-hand side of the screen. Okay? These workplace comedies where everybody just yucking it up. All right, look, here we go, another one. All these workforce places. Woman, goofball, all right, beta, backstabbers, right? Nobody wants to be here in these work environments, all right? Normie shit, but of course that does reflect the corporate world for a lot of guys. If you are a guy and you're trying to become the best possible guy you could be, you're not going to be around in corporate places. You're going to be less likely to be willing to be around in corporate places where they're constantly ridiculing you and telling you you're a predator and threatening you every day with HR. You know, nobody wants this. But I'm telling you, a lot of these people are playing office. All right, you guys know my rule when it comes to people who are working in these environments. What they're doing is they're getting probably the best 30% out of people. All right, 30% of work. Everybody else is just gossiping, walking around the office aimlessly, looking for other jobs, right? It's absolutely crazy. All right, do me a favor, man. Hit the like button. Let's get to 1,000 likes. Are we at 1,000 likes? We can't get to 1,000 likes. Man, it is terrible, man. It is absolutely terrible. We can't get to 1,000 likes. Jesus. Do me a favor. Let's stop. Let's hit the like button. All right, we're going to push forward through the show. All right, so here we go right here. The next one here. What do we got next? Is this the evil world we live in? Give me a second. I got to turn off my noise canceling shit. All right, because my ear is bugging. All right, give me a second here. It's the evil world we live in. We're going to push forward through it.
It's an evil world we live in.
All right, it's the evil world we live in here. What city is... No, that's not an evil world. That's not what I wanted to show. We're going to talk about dating. All right, why is dating frustrating? Frustration ensuing in the dating marketplace. Which city is the worst place to date It is New York City. All right, New York City is the worst U.S. city for dating, according to a study confirmed by, it says the New York Post. Researchers from Fetish Finder analyzed 6 key factors in the 20 largest U.S. cities, including single population, marriage likelihood, divorce rate, relationship seekers, and quality of life, including cost of living. According to their report, New York has the most singles, but ranks worst for dating due to the high living costs, low quality of life, and few people actively seeking relationships. All right, so there you go right there. So this is going to be why dating is frustrating. Let's take you to the list of the top 10. Now, of course, these are the largest cities. The 20 largest cities, they've ranked them and came up with the top 10. Number 10 is San Jose, California, right there. Number 9, Phoenix, Arizona. And number 8, Houston. So these are not, I lived in San Jose. And so, yes, San Jose is interesting. High cost of living there. So you're definitely going to have some issues. Phoenix and Houston, where all the 10s are. Phoenix are where the $30,000 a year Californians live. Number 7 is San Diego. Number 6 is Fort Worth, Texas. Number 5 is San Antonio, Texas. All right. All right, so now let's get to the top 4. It's going to be Chicago, then followed by Philadelphia, and Philadelphia is worth $50. Los Angeles, number 2, in New York, number 1. Now, I know a lot of guys think that if they go to these places, they'll have a better chance at dating. Well, I've lived in, how many of these places have I lived or near? I lived near New York City. I've lived in Los Angeles. I've lived near Chicago, but close enough. All right, within a few 90 miles, if you will. I've never lived in Texas, but I've lived near San Diego within an hour and a half drive. And I've lived in San Jose, California. So I've lived in close or near 5 of the 10. Now, here's the problem with it. Because there's more people there, people think that they have a better chance at dating. They have a better chance at finding their mate. But, of course, it's the opposite, because what tends to happen is these people have eternally, hypergamy is rampant, meaning that for women, they can find a better guy any day of the week, right? There's always a better guy. There's always a better looking guy. There's always a guy that makes more money. There's always a guy that lives in a better place. And then people become picky. They become somewhat stagnated by choice. So there's a choice paradox where it's like, I got all these choices. I can find a bigger and better person. For men, the 80-20 rule is more like 90-10. All right, so it becomes very difficult for you. If you don't have a vehicle in these major areas, most of the time you're out of luck. So you definitely have to downgrade who you're dating, although you're going to see more attractive women. You're going to see lots of attractive women like, wow, I wish I could get my hands on them, but they're pretty much elusive. You also have a lot of sex workers or artists, musicians, performers, producers, people that are trying to become actors, people that think they're all celebrities and rich because they associate with rich people, people name dropping and like, I know this person. I know my cousin is a producer and my ex-boyfriend was a NFL player or worked on Wall Street. Everybody's always dated somebody that was a lot better than you. So as a result, their standards become a lot more crazy. And so that's number one reason there, or those are some reasons why dating sucks in these larger cities. So people think I'm going to move from Cincinnati to Los Angeles and it's going to be better for me. It's not. It's going to be worse for you. Although you're going to probably put your hands on better looking women. You're certainly going to see better looking women on a daily basis. Yeah. And a lot of scammers too. A lot of scammers and a lot of hustlers and grifters and sharks. So everybody's like, I'll get you into this club. I'll do this. I'll do that. So people don't really settle down for marriage in these areas because it's too expensive. But people are having babies for sure. They're having babies. And they're having babies and they're having lots of sex. So that's the whole part about it is people are thinking, it sucks to date, but people still are scoring there. There's a lot of STIs still in all of that. A lot of all of that. Then there's a lot of liberals and women that want to date. If you voted for Trump, swipe left. Like this stuff, because then people start coming up with all of these things. I want them to be this, and this, and this. And these are usually large city issues. Okay, can't have this, can't have a beard, gotta be a hipster, can't vote for Trump, gotta love Kamala, gotta love cats, gotta love dogs. And this bitch is on her last leg. On her last leg economically. She got roommates and she's 36. Typically, people in larger cities tend to get married or serious about relationships later on because mostly time, men are struggling and women are struggling, but they're also thinking at some particular point they'll become CEO by 36. And when that doesn't come into fruition and they grind it and they come to a point where they don't know what to do next. What do I do next? Where do I go with this next? Well, you've run out of rope. Yep, you run out of rope. Must be 6 feet tall, must love cats and dogs. All right. Yep, it's crazy. Yep, it's crazy, man. It's unbelievable. All right, why dating is frustrating. We're going to continue on. Let's see here. Social media users tell stories about when they realized they hated their partner. All right, when they hated their partner. Social media tells and realizes when they hated their partner. You see that partner phrase being used quite a bit. Social media users tell stories about when they realize they hated their partner. Okay, ladies, when did you realize you hated your boyfriend? All right, this is why dating is absolutely terrible out here. All right, it says, I was almost 36 weeks pregnant when I almost collapsed trying to do laundry by myself. He finished work and went to football practice instead of checking on me. But a week earlier, he came home early from work because our dog ate chocolate and he was worried. Okay, next one. I felt gross every time he would kiss me. I mean, these are going to give you insights. We do have a male version of this, but this is give you insights on how women view relationships. All right, they will live with your ass and be in a relationship and feel gross every time you kiss. We got this one. When I couldn't stop cheating. Okay, when I couldn't stop cheating. Okay, this one. My ex, I was 9 months pregnant and asked him to take the trash out. And he said I was still able to walk so I can take it out. All right, I can take it. So, yeah, he said, bitch, you a grown-ass woman. Now, this is probably a 50-50 relationship. She's 9 months pregnant. Bitch, you can walk. All right, but she didn't want to hear that. Next. My grandma died and he didn't attend the funeral nor call me. He wasn't there for me either after that. Okay. People might say that's legitimate. I had to get a simple surgery, put under anesthesia and shit. And afterwards, he complained about how he hates being in hospitals, sped home, hitting every bump, which hurt me. And I wasn't supposed to be left alone, but he went to New York and left me with our 3-year-old child at the time. All right, seems legitimate. We got Tay. When my ceremony to complete school came up and he started an argument the day before just so he could have an excuse to not come, which he didn't. Broke up with him that morning after the ceremony. Okay, damn, we got a lot of them. It says, I was no longer sexually attracted to him and all the flaws I used to ignore started to disgust me. All right. All right. There it is, gentlemen. It's not that hard to figure out. Not that hard to figure out, man. Here we got another one. His phone was broken, so I hadn't talked to him all day, and he finally called, and I was so upset to see his name pop up on my screen. That was the beginning of the end. It doesn't take much, guys. When he purposely let me sleep through my alarm that I had set for work, when I asked him why he didn't wake me up, he said that I was a grown woman. Jesus. These are petty reasons, by the way. Some of them are very petty. Hated when we were on good terms, laughing my ass off, and I used to start shit so he would stay away from me. You hated when we were on good terms. Okay. How many more do we have? We were on holidays with his friend and his partner. He got really drunk. What? He got really drunk. It says he got really drunk out. And I told him to chill and he didn't. His friend told him to chill and he did. I couldn't look at him the same after that. Wow. Towards the end of the situationship, he wanted to be serious and I didn't. And he wanted to cuddle and I never got so irritated by someone touching me. I wanted to scream. My ex made me think I was asexual. All right, so look. Yeah, man, these relationships are tough, man. It's tough out here dating. Very frustrating, isn't it? All right, the next one we got is from the men's perspective out here, from the male perspective. Men on Twitter openly shared their worst dating experience with a woman on a first date. What's the worst thing a woman has done on the first date? We got Kenny the Great. She literally asked me what was the most expensive drink. The waiter met my eye and the bro code kicked in. He just kept saying everything was out of stock. God bless him. He says right here where he is now. He says, I went back to give him a tip, but he declined. All right, we got a spender on the date. Damn, this is a long one. While driving us to dinner, my phone on vibrate went off in my pocket. I looked at the text, and it was from my date sent to me accidentally saying, oh, my God, he's so ugly. I pulled over to the gas station, handed her $2 to run in and get some lottery tickets, and I drove the fuck off. All right, so in these situations here, actually, that actually could happen easily. I've never I've had something similar happen like that, not to that extreme. I actually liked a picture on someone's Instagram once, and the woman text who she thought was the friend in the picture she texted me, but she she thought she was texting her friend, and then she was like, "Oh my God, he liked the picture of us." All right, so it wasn't a negative, but I've actually had somebody accidentally text. Now, that would be interesting to get an accidental text about you during the date and something like that. He's so ugly, he boring, he's whack. All right. This one says she showed up 5 months pregnant on the first date. I've had that happen. I had a Russian chick show up 8 months pregnant on a date. I was shocked. I was like, what? Like, she was literally like, I could have the baby at any moment. All right, so I've had that happen. Yeah, dating is a trip for men. Met a girl off Tinder. We text for about 2 weeks and finally decided to meet up. I go to pick her up and found out she only had one arm. She never disclosed this. All right, the one-arm bandit. All right, the one-arm bandit. Absolutely pathetic. Had a date who didn't have a child. Had a date who didn't have her child for the night. Stayed over, smashed. She had to get her daughter at 4 a.m. I was going to leave shortly after, but stayed thinking the child was sleeping in the other room. The child came into bed, got between us, and tried to bite my nipple, thinking it was her mom. I woke up and said, wrong nipple. The mother laughed. I left that morning and never came back. That's terrible. Yeah, that's getting into some very uncomfortable conversation. Jumped out of the bushes in her driveway dressed in knee-high boots and a pirate bandana, a 12-pack in her hand, yelling, "You must be my blind date." All right, sounds like could be a Latina there. Definitely not the worst, but this happened to me at a restaurant. This girl pinched me hard as F like 5 to 6 times, like to the point that I almost hit her. Next day, my arm was all cut up from the pinches. She texted, so I texted her and tell her, and she goes, "That's what you get for being light-skinned." Okay, shout out to the light-skins. I don't know if I can get through these. Asked her on a dinner date. She invited her whole entire family and expected me to pay for the entire bill by myself. I stole some breadsticks and left. All right, let me see if I can find a good one here. Went to eat. She ordered some expensive stuff and didn't like it. I went to the restroom and my food and her food was 8, not going 8. Yeah, whatever. It says we went to a diner for breakfast early in the morning. We had a disagreement. And on her way out, she stole the tips off every table between us and the door. All right, that sounds realistic. Showed up 3 hours late for no reason. Wow. Other than that, I'm a pageant queen and it takes time for me to get ready and I am worth waiting for. Yeah, man, men experience very toxic women for sure. All right, and those are the women primarily getting the dates. Man, there's a lot of bullshit that you guys put up with. There's a lot of bullshit that you guys put up with. All right, let me see something here. All right, we do have this woman right here. Her name is Queen Nija. She shares her experience with a man approaching her in Target. Queen Nija. So this is the frustration with dating. So this woman's going to talk about being approached in Target.
One time this guy walked up to me in Target. Y'all, this stuff really be happening. He walked up to me in Target. He said, "Hi, how you doing? My name is da-da-da." And like put his hand out to shake my hand. I just looked at him like, boy, it's COVID going on. And then I thought he would have said something else. I don't know. He could say something. "What you doing after this? You want to catch some drinks?" Like, first of all, this is why I probably should have security. I'm gonna hold you. But first of all, it's like, who goes to Target, meet somebody at 5 p.m. in the day, and say, "Hey, let's go get drinks"? Are you an alcoholic? It'd be so many things that y'all don't even know, like, that be happening to me. And I don't say anything when I'm out. Let me just clarify before somebody take that small little clip and then it be somewhere. But yeah, it'd be annoying. One time this guy walked up to me in Target.
All right. One time this guy walked to me in Target. Man, I'm telling you, some people, man, look, soon as you walk up and they start frowning and acting funny and asking you questions, just dip. They out here acting real funky. What's the problem? What was the problem? You were in Target. It was 5 p.m. He asked you for drinks. Not at that moment. Come with me now for drinks. It was later to get the phone number. This woman is dense. This woman is absolutely dense. Then reaches out to shake your hand politely. "Hi, how are you?" This is a polite thing to do. All right, what's wrong with this guy? It's a creep. All right. And she definitely doing the hiccups like she drunk. All right, this definitely some drunk live streaming for sure. Sorry, like what? All right, what was the problem again? You guys see why men are really getting a little bit more froggy dealing with these women. All right, we got so much issues here that I got coming up here. Oh, yeah. All right, we're about to get into it. Main event coming up in record time. All right, this might be a 2.5 hour live stream. All right, what do we got here? We got this one that says men have too many matches on dating apps. All right, here we go right here. The paradox of choice in dating.
If Sam has 71 Hinge matches, 53 Bumble matches, and 164 Tinder matches, how many matches does Sam have? The answer is too many. It is too many. The dating apps are turning some of y'all into the people from the math problems. Alan does not need 67 apples, and you do not need that many matches. Otherwise, what we end up with is a paradox of choice. When you have seemingly endless options, you may find someone who checks all the boxes, but say no thanks because they use an Android, and someone better could be one swipe away. Meanwhile, there's people who have very few options, and others who do have options, quote unquote, like Timu has options. They're low quality and have very questionable ethical standards. Hope this helps.
All right, the porcelain princess has spoken. What man has that many matches? I'm going to tell you that right here. There's not many guys that can get to that many matches. All right, there's no way you're talking about guys with well over 300, 400 matches. I mean, even the best guys don't get that much. All right, and if they do, most of them are garbage. Knock-knee, cockeyed, buck-tooth, snaggle-tooth, all right, all kind of shit. Fat, oblong, goofy, old, soggy. Like, what? All the matches, really? I don't think so, bro. That means very, very few men get that many matches. So the matches actually line up with what females get. And I showed you that females can get this in a relatively short period of time. So she's talking about Chad getting that many matches, right? So she's talking about the paradox of choice. You're the victim of this very issue on dating apps. And look at these bangs. This shit looks like, let me show you what she looks like. All right, let me show you what she looks like. Let me see if I can pull this up. I might be able to pull this up right here. I mean, she looked like Kimberly Drummond off of Different Strokes. I mean, this is how far the throwback is for this woman right here. She done went way back in time with the Kimberly Drummond shit going on. There she is right there. There's her with the bangs. Oh, boy. I mean, yikes. She hiding all that forehead. All right, that definitely is some 1980 shit right there. All right, the Kimberly Drummond shit. All right, yo, my goodness. Not the bangs. All right, so, yeah, not that many men that have that many choices. All right, we got 2 more issues here. Actually, 1 more than the main event. It says right here, according to The Guardian, this is a current article. It says, will you marry me again? All right. The rise of divorce regret. Oh, my goodness, man. Boy, people got some shit to talk about here. Almost half of all marriages now end in divorce. Now, you say, it's been like this. It's been like this for 20 years. Yet some people experience divorce regret and choose to remarry. Oh, my goodness. Here, happily reunited couples tell their stories about how it all unexpectedly went right. All right, so let's see here. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to get down to the couples here. All right, so, wow, I can't wait to hear these stories here. I can't wait to hear these stories. Okay, hold on for a second. Look at these gumps. Look at this shit. Remarried. Lewis and Karen. All right, you knew she done got ran through. You know Karen got ran through and Lewis got lonely. All right, look. Reunited and it feels so good. I'm going to tell you, brother. Do not. We got 2 ninjas here. Ninjas reunited. All right. Absolutely crazy. All right. I would never even consider this. All right. We got, okay, African Bambaataa right there. All right. Oh, I can't wait to read these. I'm going to try to read these really quick. It's not really, ooh, this is sad though, because it's really not, they don't have it segmented enough for me to just pick them out. But this is one woman right here. She says she jokes that there is a chaos phase after divorce, something like a second youth. All right, right there. Then you reach a point where you can just sit with each other, feelings for it long enough to understand them. Sit with your own feelings long enough for to understand them. 2 realizations hit her. A friend who is an artist said that if you have a creative gift and don't use it or suppress it, it can eat you up inside. I remember thinking, this is Rich. He's an artist, but he was always trying to do the adult things. He wasn't fully himself. All right, she was able to recognize that the grief of her brother's death in a racially motivated police shooting in 2018 had impacted her marriage. Another friend said one thing that happened in grief is creating distance from a person that you are most scared of losing. No one ever said to me this issue here. There was a way that I felt at the end of the marriage, like I'm not fighting for this, which I now recognize was a part of me creating distance. Distance allowed Bella and Rich the perspective to see that they were better off together and life had just come in the way. Really, Ninja? Really? I think this is the couple. Absolutely not. That sounds like a lot of deflection right there. There was a little bit of accountability.
And it's all Jermaine's fault. It's always Jermaine's fault.
And yes, she was the problem. Yes, she was the problem. And he went and took her back. Mostly to probably go with the kids. So she did realize she was the one creating the problem. And when she says she created distance, that was distance between her and his dick. She didn't create no distance between her and other dudes. I bet you she called it a chaos phase after divorce. That sounds like the cock carousel. She wasn't sitting around trying to figure out what was going on. She went out there and she got throttled. All right, let's go to Karen and Lewis. I believe this is Karen Lewis. We're going to find out why he went back to his ex-wife. You know, it's going to end in divorce here. Karen and Lewis, who accessed therapy together and then separately talking through things with the independent party, saved their relationship. In therapy, Karen established she needed independence and space to think about what she really wanted her future to look like. Lewis, meanwhile, embarked on an 18-month psychotherapy trip. I learned that I was not a happy person for a bunch of reasons. As someone who was raised very conventionally with emotionally distant parents, Lewis said he was inhibited about discussing his feelings in a way that was bad for his relationship. In therapy, Karen and Lewis had revelations about who they were as a person, both separately and together, right here. But they didn't say that she wanted her independence and her own space. He was emotionally unavailable, admittedly. She wanted to ride that train. You know she got throttled out here. You know she got folded. And she spent the better part of her before she hit 50 getting throttled. Now he came back. Now he's like, fuck it, I'll take you back. Codependent ass ninjas. All right, I would never do this. Never. Let me see if I can find one more. Karen and Lewis. They met in their early 20s, married for 20 years, had 2 daughters, divorced in 2015, spent 5 years apart, and a lot of therapy. They walked down the aisle for the second time. All right, goodness. Is there another one? They're talking about Ben Affleck and J-Lo not making it again. Rory McIlroy calling off his marriage, then going back to her because of the expense that it probably would have taken. And he says right here, the drama of the double wedding is not only for rich and famous. Divorce followed by reunification is relatively common, with between 10 to 15% of couples reconciling after they separate, and about 6% of couples marrying each other once again. All right. 1 in 10 people who divorce say they regret it at some point. And a user shares that she's thinking about divorcing her husband, but she is terrified that she'll regret it. Many share their own regret in response to an article. Regret not doing it 10 years ago. All right, or 10 years earlier. So 10%, 15% of couples reconcile and get back together. All right, I could never. I could never in that situation there. All right, do me a favor, hit the like button. Let's get in here and do some super chats. Then head to the main event coming up here soon. She went broke. You know she went broke. All right, she definitely went broke. All right, we got super chats galore or not galore. We got Luis Gonzalez says, you cooking. He says right here, you cooking too good. Slow down for a DEI hire coach. Shout out to you. You got to slow down. Slow down. All right, Gone with John says, I am late. I had to do a thing. Shout out to Gone with John. I saw you were live, and I checked in on you, brothers, and I said, what's up to the Gone with John gang over there? Do me a favor. Go subscribe to Gone with John on his most recent YouTube channel and journey. Marcus B. Much love and respect to you, CGA. I'm convinced men build everything up, and then women find a way to tear it down. Free agent and after pill for life. Yeah. And he also says, CGA, this is the reference that I sent you about how within the next 5 years of dating between men and women will be pretty much, it will be done. It'll cease. Bill Gates mentioned this as well. Take a look at the depiction that they made. Let me go ahead and see if I can go ahead and grab this real quick. Hey, everybody sees the writing on the wall. I just don't think we have a society that facilitates healthy relationships between men and women. All right, this is, I guess, okay. Oh, goodness. All right, so this is definitely an extreme version of it because the Android bot is getting a date, and the woman right here is still waiting for her. 6 foot tall, 6 foot and 6-pack abs and 6 figures. All right. And wow. All right. Yeah. I mean, there isn't going to be great future going forward. I mean, we would have to undo. Yeah. Somebody just said that. Slim KG. It's too late to fix. There's no fix. I'm not being nihilistic. I'm not trying to give you no hope. That doesn't mean you cannot have temporary relationships. Doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that. It just simply means that people hold the idea that they're going to find their person. And most of you guys are just going to settle. A lot of people are unwilling to settle, even to the point where people are going back to a divorce. Like, I mean, it's going to be, I just don't see it being fixed. And when I say fixed, I mean for everybody. Like, everybody used to be able to enjoy dating to an extent. Yeah, there was always frustrations. Everybody was able to enjoy it. Now, I don't think people enjoy it. Certainly not the process. Then the relationship is even difficult, even then. So I like to have temporary relationships. Temporary, when it runs out, I have no hard feelings. It ran out. It ran out after a day. It ran out after a week. It ran out after a year. It ran out after 3 years. All right, people are temporary. They're not here for the long haul. All right, people aren't here for the long haul, namely because people have two different aims in life. Like, women are like, I'm doing this. I want my career. I want my house. I want my investment. And then he's like, I want to protect my investments. I want to build my nest egg. I want to chill. I want to do video games, whatever it is. We're just on two separate paths. Even to the point where a woman will meet a guy. Let's say she meets a guy that has a good amount of money. She still, all right, hold on for a second. She still has to, she doesn't want to attach to the guy. So she'll meet a guy. That guy will be a good guy. She will still be on her shit. I got to get my career. I got to look for a job. I'm still over here. I'm going to build a business. And the reality is women have their own dreams. Today, women have their own dreams. They have their own path, their own direction. And they will be more likely to make you join their path as opposed to her join yours. Now, I'm not saying that this is a negative. I'm just saying this is the reality. How do men deal with this? There was a movie I watched. I think it was a Tyler Perry movie. Maybe it wasn't. It was a rom-com. I don't even know who made me watch it. But I think J-Lo was in it, possibly. But the premise of it, they had a black couple in the movie. I want to say J-Lo was in this movie. And I think she was a celebrity. J-Lo was a celebrity. She was like a singer and then a teacher. Man, I think that was the movie. I can't remember. But anyway, what happened was the woman was like an author, you know what I mean, getting interviewed, and the guy was a doctor. She met a doctor. It was a black couple. The woman was so focused on her career and job, but she wanted romance too, but she was so focused on her career that she was like, the doctor was like, well, I'm not going to leave my career to help your shit out. But she was like, I'm not leaving my career to help you out. And then I think she wanted to move to Atlanta, or this is what the premise was. It's coming to me. The doctor was going to move to Atlanta or something like that. He was going to leave. And she was like, what about me? And he was like, you got your own shit going on. And then I can't remember what it was. But anyway, it turns out that he gave up his career. He didn't give up his career. He gave up his path to support her. Somebody has to find that movie. But the basis of the thing was like, he was like, nah, he had to let her go because he was like, nah, I'm not giving up my direction. And she was like, I'm not giving up mine. But at the end of the movie, he ended up showing up at the airport and being like, I give up my path for you. I was like, what the fuck? I mean, I'm like, bro, we gone. All right, we gone. That's where it has to be. Like, nobody's willing to give up a middle ground. So he gave up his whole path, and he was like a professional doctor. I think he was going to relocate, or she was. I can't remember. All right, and then he met her at the airport on bended knee with flowers and shit. Like, hey, I'll give up my path and purpose for you. Was that Sex Over Life? That's what it was. It was Sex Over Life season 2. So you got it right. I can't remember what it was. That's what it was. Thank you, sir. Sex Over Life season 2. Because I was doing a review of that. That's where it was. Thank you, brother. Who was that? That was Journey in an Unknown Place. That was Journey in an Unknown Place. So that's exactly what it was. And it was the black couple. And she was like an author. Let me see if I can find the couples. It was on Netflix. Let's see here. Season 2. Where's the couple at? Show the black couple. Yeah, it was this couple here. Yep. So here we go right here. It was this woman. Yeah, that's it. That was it. So she was like a speaker and an author and shit like that. She basically wrote the free agent lifestyle for women. And then he gave up his career, his doctor path to be with her because the love was so powerful. I think this is the airport scene right here. This is the scene right here. That's what it was. So he gave up his path to be a doctor to follow her path to be an author and shit like that. Remember that? Yep. And yeah, she was a whole 304. Like, yo, she was a whole 304. Yep. Yeah, she jacked the free agent lifestyle. She basically wrote the book Free Agent Lifestyle and was all on the interview, all on the news. The mainstream media loved her for it. She basically wrote the free agent lifestyle for women. All right, but anyway. Yep, that's exactly what it was. All right, so that's where the point of it is. That's where we are in the modern relationships. I even meet women and they're like, yeah, I'm going to do this. I call it delusions of grandeur. Because I'm like, you realize you're not going to meet these expectations to go, I don't want to talk you out of your dream. I'm going to start a business. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get a job. I'm going to work my way up. And I'm like, dude, then they hit 28, then they hit 30, 32, and they start struggling. Then they start saying shit like this.
And that's you.
I want to settle down and get married. I want to do. Then they start once they hit that rough patch right around 32, 35, then they start pivoting and shuffling and scrambling. That's where you guys are. That's what you guys have left. So they spend their better part of those early 30s to try to scramble to find the gump. I'm sorry, they spent the early part into those mid-30s trying to find their path and purpose. And then most of them, they ain't really going to hit it. And then guess what? Then they'll give up a little bit or they'll redirect to say, okay, let's be partners. Right? Oh, man. Get married at 40. Dude, this is not idyllic of standard relationships. By the way, this is all new. Marcus B says, CGA, one last thing. I was in Vegas and saw this couple, and the woman had a cartoon BBL and breast at a juice bar. I think she was a stripper. Everyone was looking behind there. He says they were behind that back, pretty much laughing at them. He says the guy was a that's you guy.
And that's
and
you.
I thought to myself, okay, never be him. So there are guys, again, there are people that get into relationships. They are not finding these people are settling in a major way. All right, we got some people over on the Ko-Fi. It is our brother here. Did I get an 8-bit? I did. Mr. Will I Am. Yes, my coworker is a pro-black. He was acting like Damon from that Friday. From the Friday, it says right here, worrying about those guys. He says he might as well had phone books so he didn't get shanked or a lynching was about to happen. He says, bro was tripping. I looked at him like, wait a minute. Hit me with, where the white women at?
Where the white women at?
All right. These pro-blacks are interesting. When I talk about getting to relationships with black women, one of the issues you're going to face is a lot of pro-bliggity black shit. All right. And it rubs me the wrong way. Blue Bagger says this ninja going to be paying thousands of dollars per month well into senior citizenship for kids that he'll never see again. Oh my goodness. Woo wee. Goodness. Dr. Beto, CGA, I was waiting for you to show up on F&F, but they're dying, so that won't happen. Shout out to Fresh and Fit, but I bet you would have said that hypergamy on steroids isn't bad since it leads to our evolution and innovation. Facts. It does. Hypergamy does benefit us. I mean, the things that we actually fear are these women are hypergamous. It actually leads to better people. It adds to people, man. It adds to smarter people, better gene pool selection. So, and it weeds out the weak. So hypergamy, that's what it does. It's part of the evolutionary growth of our human race. Now, too many dumb people are having babies too, so that's neither here nor there. All right, lots of dummies having babies. All right, let's see if I got any more support. Thanks for those that did support. Kaylin is back. Kaylin says, I was wondering why women are so obsessed that their baby's first words are mama and not papa. They always want to be viewed as the best parent and work. I'm going to just skip that. He says they will always want to be viewed as the best parent. And it says right here. Yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. There seems to be some sort of loss in translation. All right, we're going to talk about lost in translation in a little bit. All right, main event. I think it's main event time. Thank you for those contributions. Appreciate y'all in here supporting the show. Oh, we got a couple more. G says, what do you think about marrying a woman that makes more than you? I mean, go ahead. What do you mean? I wouldn't do it. I would have no interest in that. She would have to make significantly more than me. Significantly more than me. Like, I'm talking about 10 times more than me. That's just my opinion. Other than that, typically if she makes equal or more, in her mind, she makes 10 times more than you. That's what in her mind. So that's all I'm saying with it. Like, I just don't see any basis or reasoning to do so. But that's just me. All right. And it's not because I'm intimidated. Stop with that bullshit. You're intimidated by her career. I don't find it fascinating. I'm just too much of what they would call a dominant to actually give that woman that type of pleasure to hold that against you. Now, a lot of guys don't realize men hold that against women, but women really hold that against you. They really hold that against you. You think hypergamy is crazy in a relationship where you make equal or more than her? If she makes more than you, oh my God, she's going to reign supreme over you. I wouldn't do it. I would have no interest in that. Most of the time, and let me just say this, most women that make more than men are significantly older, unless she's on OnlyFans. She's significantly older, like 60, 71. All right, anyway, I'm not a guy that wants to be dominated. Like, I'm not getting dominated by no broad. But there are a lot of feminists that do make good money, and they're submissive. Nah, man, I'm not trying to compete over that. I wouldn't do it personally. This is not my cup of tea. It's not that I want to be supporting a woman at all times, but it certainly ain't my cup of tea. All right. Some women can't handle that type of responsibility. Nah, man. Because then they'll be like, you don't mind if I fuck my male friend, do you? He's a client of mine. You're like, what? Yeah, you got to understand, I'm a lawyer and all, so I got to fuck my clients sometimes, and I got to network and schmooze and brown nose, and, sometimes I got to take clients to bars, and, sometimes I got to fuck them. I can fuck them in a back room over there. I got my little girl room over there. You don't mind if I fuck them, do you? All right, Pearl's in the building. Shout out to Pearl. She said, nice show. All right, Pearl's in the building. We're going to talk about white girls in a minute, Pearl. You want to be hanging out in here? You want to hang out? Because we're going to talk about white girls.
Where the white women at?
Kevin W. says, one of my employers said that if he could use the corporate card I gave him for luggage. What? Oh, my goodness. Oh, you're starting a business. Ay, ay, ay. Ninja, get ready. Get ready, guy. Brother, you starting a business, so you just gave them a corporate card. They trying to buy luggage. Louis Vuitton luggage, too, I'm pretty sure. Goodness gracious. All right. Main event. Let's get into it, man. Shout out to y'all, brothers. Let's main event. Let's hit the bell. All right. Different races, different women, dating women of all races. I've been lucky and fortunate to have dated around the world. All right. I've dated all kinds of women, lots of white women, lots of Latinas, a small bit of Asians and Ling-Lings, and some few black women. All right. few black women, and I have definitely dated other races, Jewish. Well, that's not a race, but you get what I mean. We're going to use race very loosely. All right, so don't get your panties in a bunch when we're talking about that. You know what we're talking about. I've dated the 31 flavors. I dated the Yiddish. I dated poor white women, rich white women. I've dated them all. Suburban white women, mud sharks, all right, pasty pale, no melanin, pale skins, all right, blue veins in the titty white women, all of that. I've dated dark-skinned black women. I've dated all of them. I dated Latinas, fat ones, Dominicans. I've dated Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Middle Eastern women. I've dated Greek women. I dated them all, Ninja. I grew up in Southern California. Luckily, I've dated a lot of women, man. I'm telling you. Yes, indeed. It's been great. New world order. Snow cows. I've dated snow cows. All of that. Pro-black women. Fine black women. I've dated them all, bro. I got a whole repertoire. So I am steeped in understanding the dynamics between different races of women. All right. Let me give you some data on races here, just so you guys can see. It says right here, interracial dating. Interracial dating right here. The largest multiracial combination in 2020, of course, they have old demographics. They can't catch up with the real time. Whites in some other race dominates the interracial landscape. You would think it would be not that, but whites in some other races, but there's just way more white people than any people here in America. We're only talking about American women, by the way. Only American women. All right, but then whites in American Indian or Alaskan Native, 4 million. White and black or African American, 3.1 million. White and Asian, 2.7 million, and that's mostly white women and Asian men. Yeah, white women and Asian men. All right. White men and Asian women. All right, I had that flipped up. And it says right here, black or African American in some other race is the smallest, according to this chart right here. And it says the multiracial population is the fastest growing demographic in the United States. The growth was driven largely by Hispanic or Latino Americans identify as multiracial. We're going to talk about that. With this group increasing from 3 million in 2010 to over 20 million in 2020. So that also is Kamala. But the multiracial category has been very much popularized because a lot of people are biracial. So they will pick that they're multiracial. So it says the identity of multiracial increased by 276%. So then really, what are people? People do have a heritage, but people are really racially ambiguous and mixed. Shout out to the racially ambiguous women and men of the world and the tragic mulattoes. Shout out to the tragic mulattoes. We're going to identify with you. And it says right here, the number of people who interracially date has increased significantly over the years. And there are many factors that contribute to this trend. Number one, interracial relationships and marriages have gone up. Interracial dating has gone up. Public approval of interracial dating has increased. 94% of Americans approve of interracial dating. I actually approve of it as well. All right. I'm not against interracial dating at all. In fact, I don't give a fuck. All right. I really don't care. I don't care what anybody does. All right. I've never been sensitive to people on race. All right. Oh, this black women want white men. Let them have them. I don't care. I don't want them. All right. So, and it says factors that affect the intermarriage right here: education, location, and pool of potential spouses. And they say the Loving versus Virginia case legalized interracial marriages nationwide in 1967. Since then, interracial marriages have become more common and with many factors contributing to this trend. All right. And it says right there, the prevalence of intermarriage has increased. Back in 1967, it was just 3% of married couples were interracial. Now it's 20%, according to the Pew Research. Now, old data tells us it's relatively around 15%. 10 to 15%, but it's not exactly true. But of course, not everybody sees a lot of more multi-ethnic cultural people, so they don't have the opportunity. And so really the thing that affects it is, they said, education, location, and pool of potential spouses. So if you go to a college and a university, you're going to see less and less potentially black women. All right, there will be more and more representation of multiracial or white people. So that will put you in a potential line of dating someone interracially. All right, but if you don't go to a college or a university, you're going to see probably more and more people that are like you. So you're not switching your location. All right, the characteristics of women in these races. Number one, evil comes in all races. So the idea that there's a better person that gives you better qualities and that person is over and abundantly better than the women of maybe your race or another race is not exactly true. You're normally getting trade-offs. You're basically making a decision on trade-offs, things that you like and that you don't like. So let's say if you're open to interracial dating, you're probably going to look at maybe the pool of women in your associated group of people, and you're going to probably critique them a little bit more. All right, I don't like this. I don't like that. I grew up around this. They remind me of my sister, my cousin, my aunt, girls that I went to school with. So you're going to be overly critical of them. Then you're going to look at another group of women that you might not have an opportunity with and say that they're better. Oh, these women are better. All right, because they don't do this one thing. All right, so let me give you an example. If you're a so-called black man, you might look at black women and say, I don't like you twerking. Twerking is disgusting. I'm going to go with women that are a little bit more subtle and modest. So then you will find white women who are more like robots. They're like Stepford wives. All right. Now, every now and then they might engage in twerking and you might find it endearing. You might find it cute. You might find that she's trying to relate to you or your music or your culture. You see what I mean? Like, and then you'll give it a pass. And you'll be like, oh, she's smiling. She's not so aggressive with it. Right? So she's cute when she does it. So you'll overlook it. Over here, you'll be overly critical of it. And this happens quite a bit. Happens quite a bit. So you'll give the white girl a pass and you'll give the black woman a thumbs down. You'll be like, no, twerking is disgusting. But white women twerk, Latino women twerk. A lot of people do this type of movement, but you'll accept it. All right. So anyway, so we got that going on. So there's trade-offs. We're going to talk about the potential things that you're giving up when you're dating. And I might more talk about it from my perspective, but I'll try to include everybody in this discussion, even the white men that like Asian women and all these things, these characteristics that you're looking for. Are you getting a better person? I'm not going to talk about it from the female dating other side, dating men of other races, because I don't have experience with that. But I can probably throw some interjection in there. Who do we want to start with? Do we want to start with the white women?
Where the white women at?
All right. Or do we want to start with the Latinas? Do we want to start with the Linglings? Do we want to start with the Linglings or do we want to start with the black women? All right. Do we want to start with the black women?
Gotcha, bitch.
Juggle antics. Who do we want to start with? Okay. Here we go right here. Let's me pull up my notes here. All right, so in this one, I'm going to speak very generally about a group of people. It doesn't represent all people, so don't get your panties in a bunch. Sit back and have some fun and donate. Donate to me. Sit back and have some fun and donate. If you give me an exception to the rule that I present, this only proves the rule, so don't say, well, I'm not like that or not all are like that. We're not playing that game today. You know generally what we're talking about, and the exception proves that the rule exists. So if I say something stereotypical about somebody, then you say, I'm not like that. Say, for instance, I say black women do this. And then you say, but what about Candace Owens? That doesn't mean that black women are now immune from what I just said. All right. Just because Candace Owens doesn't do it, that doesn't mean the rest of the group didn't do it and vice versa. All right. Don't talk about anything regionally, but we can bring up regionally. Like, for instance, Latinas are everywhere in the Western Hemisphere. They pretty much dominate the Western Hemisphere other than white folk, right? And there's a lot of Afro-Latinas, but Latinos are everywhere, pretty much the entire South America and Central America, into North America, and then all the way up. They're everywhere. So there's different versions of Latinas. If you take a Dominican Republic versus a Mexican, it's going to be a different representation. All right. I know this. I'm aware of it. I've dealt with both and all of them. So I might say something that overly represents the Chicanos or the Mexicans, and it might not represent the Puerto Ricans and the Guatemalans. You see what I mean? It's going to be very, very vague in general. It says right here. Oh, okay. So we're ready to go. All right. So here we go right here. We're going to have some people, pro-blacks. Y'all going to have some hurt feelings and all of that. Who do we say we want to start with? Let's see what we're going to start with here. It says we got Latinas, sisters, black women, sisters, definitely not black women, Latinas, ling, flatback, sisters, Latinas. Looks like Latinas are definitely going to be the one that we start with. So let's head south of the border, or to South America or Central America, if you will. These imaginary lines that we have, by the way, I'm in Nevada. This was Mexico about in the 1860s. So certainly in the 1840s, this was Mexico. So shout out to them, and shout out to all the natives. All right, we got to talk about the Native Americans who once ruled this land, the Aztecs, the Mayas, the Incans, and all of the other native tribes, the Cherokee and all that. All right, let's start with the Latinas. All right, let's get a picture on board so you can see what we're dealing with here. All right, have some fun, buckle your seatbelt. All right, so you're dealing with trade-offs. You want you a Latina. All right, there she is, that curly hair. They always have that curly hair. All right, it smells so good and all of that. They be smiling, cheeks all big, titties all big, back all big, all of that. All right, here's the thing. You want you a Latina, but can you handle a Latina?
Now I got to cut you.
They look so innocent. They come in small sizes. Most of the time, depending on what type of Latina, they are as wide as they are tall. And the clock do strike midnight on the Latina. They do have a short shelf life. All right, they have a short shelf life, meaning that, yes, they are cool and all of that. They are cool, but their shelf life is hella short. Typically, and I'm trying to really walk the line of not being considered a predator, they really are at their best looks-wise when they're at a certain age, like, well, let's say teen in age. They do shelf life short. So once they hit about 25, it can be an absolute clusterfuck. All right, it is basically Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde with them. Now, some men, particularly black men, like curvy, leftover, old, bigger Latinas. All right, because you guys tend to like more booty meat. But really, they be looking in their prime. Their prime is very early in life. All right. And they tend to be very clingy and claims to be the most loyal. If you want somebody that is loyal to you and will call you Poppy, they love that. That's a part of their culture. They will cook. They will do all of that shit for you. Even the Dominicans and all of them, they will do all of that shit. Most of these people, well, anyway, they will do all of that to you. They're very clingy and affectionate and intimate. And, if you skeet in them, you're going to give them pregnant. I'm going to just let you know. Like, a lot of them don't believe in birth control. All right, so be careful skeeting around them, but they might let you skeet. All right, they might let you skeet, but she's going to get pregnant on them. Matter of fact, you don't have to get very close to a Latina to get her pregnant. You can breathe on her. You can French kiss her and she gets pregnant. You can leave the meat around her thigh. You can bust on her thigh. She's going to get pregnant on you. But they are clingy. Not only that, they are very insecure when it comes to what you're doing. They know you're cheating on them. So if you're a guy and you've never dated a Latina, but you also want to fuck around on a Latina, all right, I'm gonna mess around and I'm gonna pimp these hoes. You can pimp hoes that you know what I mean? They ain't got no daddy. But these women ain't gonna let you mess around, bro. They ain't gonna let you mess around on them. Why? Because they're great private investigators. So if you're a guy and you don't like your race of women, and then I'm going to go get a Latina. Bruh, you cannot mess around on this girl. All right, this girl knows you're messing around on her. Now, she might not confront you. She might confront you. And if she ever confronts you about it and she's passively confronting you, you know your tires are going to get slashed. You be liable to come out with your car burned up real quick. I'm going to just let you know.
Look what she did to my car.
You'll get your car fucked up. Just let you know.
I can't stand this hoe. I can't stand this shit.
Yep. She'll chop off your chorizo and throw it out the window. They do not play. And because they team up with all of their sisters, their tias, their abuelas, their mommies, their ranchero poppies, they will team up together and hunt your ass down. They will pull up with a whole dudes with a whole bunch of El Caminos and lowriders, and they will find your ass. They got cousins you don't know about. Bruh, that will be on the lookout for your ass. Namely named Radames, Little Puppet, Chico, all of these ninjas. All right, all of them. And they will fuck up your world, man. Do not think about it. Don't think like this. Now, they're getting a little bit more Americanized. So this is the thing. A lot of these groups of people that were very much in about 100 years ago were very much, okay, you can know what you're getting. Today's women are very much Americanized. So you will meet Latinas that come from single parent households or divorces, which, was rare a long time ago. But now they're from broken homes and single moms are raising them. And so they're not as steeped in the Latina history as they once were. They didn't have the backing as they once were. So you got a lot of fractured households over there, and you can catch you a couple. If you like women built like square blocks, right? Even though they look curvy, but when the clothes come off, they built like a block, like SpongeBob SquarePants, right? You think there's ass back there, but it's not. It's really hips and ass and just all in one block. All right, there you go right there. You get your Latina. The titties going to be big, though. Most of the time, they going to be. All right, but they're cute. They're passionate. They're spicy. They're hot. They're down for you. But you guys got to watch out. They definitely have a short fuse. All right, their fuse is short. They don't play around, and they can make your life a little bit miserable if you screwing around on them. So my opinion is this. For the guys that want to screw around on women, this is not going to be your first choice. I would not screw around on these women. All right, so if I'm going to play games, it's not going to be with a Latina. You can play games with other races of women for sure, and I'm going to tell you why. But this group is not the group you want to play around with because they don't care. They don't care. When they crash out, they crash out. All right, and they don't care. You can't calm them down. And it'd be like a little chihuahua on you, 5'2" and a whole bunch of spice. All right. All right, they don't even be tall, like 5'1". Last Latina I was with, she took her heels off and she was like right here to my shoulder. All right, little, but angry. All right, they got a short fuse. They will get angry on you. Other than this, let me name some good qualities that they have. Many times they will be more likely of this group to be somewhat traditional, especially the Americanized version of them. I know guys will be like, no, that's Ling Ling. That would be the non-Americanized version of the Ling Lings. The Americanized version of all of these groups, there will be more likely to be willing to be traditional. Okay. So, yes, and they will cook and they will do the whole cleaning thing. It's kind of sometimes, more than likely, not always, more than likely, they'll be like, I take pride in that. You never have to lift the finger around me, Poppy. All right, I take care of you, Poppy. And she'll call you Poppy. All right, and you'll bust a clean old nut up in her when she say it. All right, you'll be like, roar, and now you got 5 babies. All right, but fertility tends to be cool there. Yeah, you're going to be good there. One thing, yeah, I'm naming good qualities. I'm trying not to name the bad ones. Some of them will have some fantastic, flawless skin. If you like kind of tannish skin, they will have some great skin. Trying to name some good qualities of them. They be having that wet. Yep. But, you know, the thing is, they just gonna blow up. They gonna pull the pin in the fat grenade. It's gonna blow up on you. All right, so if you meet a thin one, you better enjoy her while she's thin because she's gonna get bigger. All right, so she's gonna eat a lot of them arroz con pollo. She's gonna have a couple of babies, and she's gonna be working. Most of the time, when you see them having a job, the Americanized one, they're always sitting down. They got pretty feet. I would say most of them got pretty feet. Some of them got little toes, though, little stubby toes. I don't like them. All right, but yeah, they mostly time sitting at the desk, medical assistant, doing some shit like that, nurse's assistant. All right, but eating Takis and hot Cheetos. That's the one thing you can't do is because, they are steeped in their, wherever they get their meals from, they typically stay around that type of food. All right, and so they eat a lot of food and beans and rice and shit, high carbohydrates and shit like that. All right, so yeah, they eat a lot of high carb foods, and so they gonna blow up. I'm gonna just let you know they gonna get bigger. However you like them, they gonna get bigger. Yes, and drama is their middle name, so they are steeped in drama. All right. And I always tell one if I'm dealing with that, I'm like, you need to stop watching them telenovelas. All right. They are steeped in trauma. Drama and trauma comes with them. Like they think relationships are for them to have the drama that plays out in all relationships. Like they're like, oh, I got a relationship. Let's insert the drama. All right, they're going to give you all kind of drama, bro. So watch out for that. But other than that, they will cook you up some street tacos and some burritos and some taquitos and enchilada and salsa. But if she got that knife or that chicle, all right, the chicleta, if she has that, she will throw it at you. So whatever you say next to her, she start waving that knife around, it's going to be it. Other than that, most of the time they're cute, endearing. They look like they're not going to do anything to you. And they are very smart. They will flatten your tires with that knife. All right. They're not going to really try to beat on you. Sometimes they do. And most Latinas do. I'm going to tell you, man, most of them, yeah, they're very loving. And when you're her man, you're her man. You're her man. That, like, in terms of the most loyal of the four that we're going to mention, the Latina serves as the most loyal. Like, her loyalty is going to be, in fact, it's going to be all annoying. The loyalty is going to be annoying. Right, anyway, right here. But their curly hair is going to be fantastic. Oh, by the way, it sweats under there a lot, just so you know. There's a lot more hair under there than you actually realize. All right, because it's scrunched up and curly. When she wakes up in the morning, she's going to look like a lion. Roar! All right, you see this curly hair like this? This is just what it looks like when she maintains it and tames it. All right, when you sleep with her, with all that sweat and all that moving around, if she don't tie it up in a pineapple or a top knot or a bun, she's going to wake up like a lion like this. Roar! You're going to look at her like, oh, is that my Latina? Yes, she is. Let's go to the next group. All right, shout out to the Latina. All right, let's go to the white women. All right, let's go to the white women.
Where the white women at?
Let's go to the white women. Let's go to the white women. Let's pull up a white woman. There she is right there, porcelain princess. Oh, the white woman. This is the white woman is an interesting woman here. The most of them, most people in America are white women. They're virtually mostly clones of themselves when you see them. They're like very clonish. They tend to do the same thing and wear the same clothes. They're like Urban Outfitter, Eddie Bauer. You know what I mean? Forever 21. Like you see one with the same shit on, then you see the other one, North Face. Uggs. They tend to go Lululemon. All right. They tend to do the same thing. Once one trend catches on, they all go get the same shit. All right. And then you look at them and they all got the same uniform on and shit. They got the half zip coat with the sleeves off and shit. All right. Yep. Right there. Just clones. You know what I mean? They just kind of hover around each other and do the same thing. I call the white woman the slow burn, all right? They are the slow burn. So initially what you're going to get, and they are great at acting. These are the best actors of the four, all right? They can act like no other. So they'll put on the issue that they're well, they're mentally stable, they're financially stable, they're smart, they're intelligent, they can pare it back, whatever they need to pare it back. They'll even say things like they're traditional. If she's a liberal white woman, this is a whole new animal. All right. The whole new animal, liberal white women are a little bit different. But they'll be able to say the right thing. They do the right thing. They're stuck in the sunken place. So they will come out and you'll meet them. Oh, hi. My name is Paige. And Paige will have it all figured out. This is what I'm going to do. And this is what relationships is. This was love. This is what a husband does. This is what a wife does. This is what I learned in school. Paige will be able to say everything back perfectly. But they're the slow burn. Initially, they'll start off. And if you haven't experienced them, they'll be super duper nice to you. And everything will be friendly. But that's not the real them. That's not the real them. This is an act. All right. And it takes a while for you to get the mask to fall off. They're completely acting. Then eventually you're going to find out who they really are. And it may take years. You'll find out they're dealing with depression, maybe an eating disorder. Maybe they're dealing with postpartum depression. Maybe they dealt with cutting themselves. You're going to find it out. It's going to come out, bruh. It's going to come back. It's going to come out. Sometimes they're passive aggressive, snippy. They snipe at you passively aggressively. They'll do it all with a smile and an angel. They'll be like, I'm a little angel. Smile. White girl tears. These are all things that can ruin your life. Men have lost lives on white girl tears. All right, because she was happy 1 minute. She started drinking wine and doing lines of coca. Now she's in a rage. And now you're in jail. All right, real quick. Now you're strung up on a rope. They're a slow burn. So typically men that date these women interracially, you're avoiding the aggressive woman. Blacker women, Latinas, these women are considered aggressive. All right, these are passive aggressives, all right, where they'll warm up to you and cozy to you, and I don't see anything wrong with that, and this is totally fine. And you're like, this is crazy. I can't believe I lucked out. And then guess what? When the wine hits, when wine o'clock hits, then the mask falls off, and that could take a year or two when she's done getting what she wants out of you, right? She'll get the marriage, she'll get maybe some support, she'll get you to commit, you'll move in, then wine o'clock happens. right. Then wine o'clock comes around and you're like, holy shit. So that's the slow burn with them. They're not as aggressive. And their quips and snipes at you will indicate that she knows she has power over you. And because they are the princesses of America still to this day, she knows she has power over you. So if you're dating interracially, she has power over you. When you're a white guy, she has power over the white guy. And everybody knows it. They know it. All right, especially beta males. She has power over the beta males. So this woman will have a body count of 300 and she'll wear a frilly dress. You'll never know it. You'll never know it. She'll have a coke habit when she was 18 and now she's 33 and you'll never know it. She's had 2 early terminations of pregnancy and her father doesn't even know it. They hide a lot. And that is reflected into when the mask falls off, when they're traumatized. They deal with a lot of trauma, abuse. They deal with a lot of people, taking advantage of them because they're typically not strong built or they're not aggressive characters. So they'll have to be, they'll have to deal with that type of abuse and Chad, alpha widows. So you gotta watch out for that. That is a great risk. All right, the good things you're going to get from them, typically they will play a good role in public. All right, so when you're with them and you're outside, she'll play a good role. She'll put on her dress and she'll spin and she'll be a whole Stepford wife. All right, but what'll happen is when you get behind closed doors, it's going to be a little bit different. So they're great socially. Sometimes they're considered the trophy wives. Still today in America, they're considered trophy wives. You will see men of other races as they rise up. They still might get a white woman as a trophy. And it's basically a card. All right, look, I was able to get her. I got her. I'm part of the club. That's basically what people get them for. And the good things you get from them, sometimes they know how to cook. It just depends. Some of them try to cook and look at what I made. And they'll make a Pinterest account and they'll decorate cupcakes and shit like this and feel all at home. Some of them do that. These are the more conservative leaning ones. Oh, by the way, the better ones are taken very early. All right, again, we talked about short shelf life with Latinas. This is another group, short shelf life. All right, the shelf life is short. Lack of melanin will make you age disgracefully. All right, so then they start getting duck lips and shit like that very early. But their shelf life tends to be short again, right around that 17, 18, 20, 21, 24. And once you get past that, it's going to get, you don't know what you're about to get. All right, by about 40, that neck going to start looking, all right, it's really about mid-30s. All right, and if they doing any pills or shit like that, it's wild. But they tend to want to do arts and crafts. They tend to be the group that has benefited from feminism, but are the less feminist overtly. Like, they tend to benefit from feminism. They tend to be the primary group of women that have benefited from feminism. But if they're conservative, if they're not a raging liberal, this group of women will act like they not benefit. They'll act like they're not feminists. But they're like undercover, covert feminism. You got to watch them. They're very sneaky and sly. They're like the coyote or the wolf. They're very sneaky. All right, they're very sneaky. So you got to watch out for them. I would call them like mousy. They're very mousy on how they're going to deal with you. Very passive aggressive, very underneath. And they'll play dumb. All All right, they'll play dumb for you and think you winning, and then until they okie doke your ass like Ginger in Casino. So watch out for them. They will play dumb. All right, they know how to play dumb and dingy, and I'm just a dumb woman. All right, as soon as you turn your back, all right, so watch out for them. Watch out for them. They know everything they're doing. It's all thought out and planned out well in advance. Nothing just happens to them. They will get your ass, and all they got to do is cry, and it's a wrap. But other than that, they tend to know how to cook decently. They will cook. Traditionals, they tend to be the primary group that are stay-at-home moms. So they will be like, I just want to be a mom, and I'm going to have kids, and I'm going to be a mother. And she'll eventually hate that role later on, but initially that's what she wants. She's not rarely going to be like, I'm going to go start a business. These are minority women talking that shit, mostly Black and Latinas. All right, because that seems to be, but these women are going to be like, oh, I'll be a mom. They're very smart and aggressive about it. If that's what they want to do, they'll go be that. If they don't want to do that, they'll do something else. And also, even if she's a career woman, she still will be like, but I'm a mom too. So she can be a whole career woman, make $250K a year, and she might not even thump her chest. Now, she will do it behind closed doors, but she still will find her a guy, hypergamously, that makes above and beyond, or just enough. But you guys got to watch out with her. Her past is going to be hidden. Her past is going to be hidden. It's going to come out somewhere if you marry her, and then you're going to be in therapy. All right? Because they addicted to therapists. So they'll be in therapy, and her whole past will come out. And it'll read like Chad's who and Tyrone and whatnot. All right, you're going to hear a whole bunch of what, and I got what? You're going to be like, you did what? When they're younger, when they're in their prime, when they're younger, can't nobody tell them shit. All right, they be like, especially when they're around their own group of people, they be like, I'm a boss. They be like, I'm the bitch here. All right, they be running around with their yoga pants, and they be like, you can't tell them nothing when they in their prime. All right, but right about 24 starts slowing down for them. Shit starts crashing. So if you're a guy that wants that, you want to look out for these signs of the passive-aggressive nature. Very much anything that they deal with you on is going to be passively aggressively. Even when they say something about you, they might say, yeah, well, you know I'd make more money than you. Like everything's a quip, a snipe, a snarky comment, a remark. All right, so watch out for them. Other than that, they got, I guess in terms of class structure, if you're interracially dating a white woman, it's kind of like you're trying to elevate yourself in society, arm candy, and all that stuff. I guess that's what you would get from them. They tend to be nice, very sexually, overtly sexually. Like meaning that when you get behind closed doors, if she's into you, she will do the nastiest stuff. Yeah, sarcasm is what they use. Sarcasm. They're the queens of sarcasm. And it's never really funny. All right, it's never funny shit, and the timing's going to be off, but they will sarcastically remark about something, and then they say, well, I didn't mean it. All right. But yeah, that's the one thing they'll do. They'll do it. They'll play the role for you outside. All right. They will do that very well. But they're like the arm candy. They're like, oh, look, I gotta be a white girl. All right. Anyway. Yeah, they're sneak dissing you. When they quip on you, they're sneak dissing you. All right. But I didn't really mean it. They're good at that. And they play neotenous characters. They typically aren't going to play like, dun, 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 dun. They're not going to do all of that chest beating. Typically. So they'll play the neotenous, the somewhat the passive dumb. Oops. Is my cleavage out? Oops. They'll do that. And people tend to give them a pass for it, just to let you know. They give them a pass for this shit. Like, they do things that other races of women do, and you criticize the hell out of them. And they'll do the same thing, but in a playful manner. They'll put themselves in pigtails, right? They'll put themselves in pigtails, and they'll just be like, oops. They'll jump around on trampolines. They'll funny twerk, and everybody will love it. They'll love it. You'll give her a pass. White guys be on their neck, though. White guys won't give them that much of a pass. They'll be like, future single mother, ninja meat. Y'all will call them all kind of names. But everybody else, you'll give them a pass for it. So watch out for that. All right, so let's go to the Linglings, and then we're going to end with the black women. Let's go to the Linglings real quick. All right, let's get Lingling up here.
What kind of fuck you give me?
Yes, indeed. All right, hold on for a second. It's not even Thursday. All right, let's go to Linglings real quick. There she is right there. All right, Linglings. What you're going to get from Linglings typically is, and I didn't talk about white people's family, white women's family. They're going to play a role in that. Let me just address the white women and their family. All right, white women tend to be very family-oriented. Even if they're in a fracture family, you got to overcome family. If you come from a group of people that don't have a large family, their family is going to out-family you. So they're going to really move around to try to protect her, especially if she's young. If she's older, they're going to give up on her. They'll be like, do whatever you want. Do whatever makes you happy. But they're very fully aware when she's like 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, that she tends to be at the peak. And then if you come in there and you don't measure up, they will get rid of your ass. So the family, watch out. Their family moves and shakes passively aggressively too. So they will undermine, demean you if you come in and you're not prepared for this shit. It's like Dynasty and Knots Landing. So watch out for that. They will tend to gang up on you in a way that you will not realize it. All right, so watch out for them. They'll smile in your face all the time. They want to take your place. All right, the Linglings, different version of Linglings. So you got, Southeast Asian, you got Japanese, Korean, Chinese, which would be at the paler end of the Chinese. Then when you have the dark-skinned Asians, the paler end of the Asians, when you have the dark-skinned Asians, they're going to be quite different. You also have the Mexicans of the sea, which are the Filipinos. Then you have the Vietnamese, Cambodian, and Thai. These are all the darker-skinned Asians. And it's going to be a little bit different. You're going to get different, even amongst those, you're going to get different representations amongst this group of people here. But generically, the Lingling, all right, they're considered submissive. Right off the bat, you just automatically assume the Lingling is a submissive. All right, so if you're into submissive culture and submissive women, even they will play into it that they're the submissive. All right, that they are small, frail, they can do no harm to you. This one, yeah, see Mexicans. All right, but that the Lingling can do no harm. She's small. Most of the time, they're very 110 pounds, soaking wet. She's not going to punch you. She's almost rarely going to be physically going to have an altercation with you. So this could be appealing to guys. This could be appealing to you guys, this submissive nature. Sometimes there might be a language barrier or some things get lost in translation. This group of people tends to have dry humors. All right. Their humor tends to be dry. All right. They're not going to be like funny and ha-ha and kikiing. Sometimes they'll be hella serious, or they'll even just have a serious look on their face. But you can't read them. They're hard to read. Poker faces. Poker faces. So they look less threatening. Sometimes they're playing the traditional submissive role. They seem like they don't talk much. Sometimes they don't even talk much. Sometimes they won't even talk that much, right? Which is going to be more likely appealing to men. Men tend to like women like this, of all races. White men, typically, certainly white men like women like this. Docile, demure. You can tell them what to do, they'll do it, all right? These are all great traits that are appealing to men. So women will find that men that have these women are weak. All right, you're weak because you can't handle a strong woman. Well, men typically don't want to handle a woman like that. So he tends to lean to a woman that already kind of comes with it. No batteries included. So the Lingling tends to come with this appeal that men like. Not only that, they're neotness. They tend to be young looking. No matter what age they are, they tend to be young looking. They don't age or raisin until like mid 40s, maybe sometimes 50s. Now, the thing is, since there's a talk barrier or lost in translation or dry humor, much of your conversation is not, you can't get into deep conversation with them. Most of the time, they'll say, do whatever you want, right? So even when you're trying to get input from her, you're not going to get much back. You're not going to get much back. They're not going to press forward and back on you at things, which is one of the reasons you got with her. But sometimes you want to go a little bit further, and they're not going to do it, all right? They're not going to go forward and press and say, I want this, until they want it. And they'll stand on their square for certain things. But because they're submissive and because they look less intimidating and they look young and they got these big eyes, you know what I mean? And they're like, oh, what kind of fuck you give me?
What kind of fuck you give me?
All right. What'll happen is you'll let your guard down. You'll let your guard down. And when you let your guard down, that's when you get got. That's when you're going to get got with this group of people. All right. You're going to get got because she's not communicating very much. And she just smiles at you like she just smiling at you and nodding her head and be like, whatever you doing, you think she ain't up to no good shit, right? You think she ain't trying to plot and plan on your ass. But she is not dumb. She is not dumb. She playing a role. Do not mess up or she will poison your applesauce or your drink. Okay? She will be in there giving you sake bombs and shit like that and dropping all kind of... She will have your ass twisted and turning and spinning in the wind. This woman is watching everything you do, psychoanalyzing it, looking for an angle. All right? She doing a Genie Mai on your ass. She got you figured out. She got you pegged. She's like a android. She got the analytics going, just like typing constantly, looking at your ass. She figuring out when you wake, when you sleep. She won't make a noise, a peep, but she got you pegged. She got, not pegged, pause. She got you figured out, but she just ain't gonna say it. She ain't gonna tell you she got you figured out. She just gonna be like, keep doing what you doing, fam. Yep. Keep doing what you doing. And then one day she gonna strike. And when she strike, you know, you won't even see it coming. You'll be like, bitch, did you poison my drink? I know you didn't poison my drink. And all of a sudden, yep, especially when they get older. Very cunning. You ever go to the nail salon or a restaurant and they be meow, 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 meow. All right. They be in there. You be at the nail salon and they be talking shit about each other. All right. They be like, meow, 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 meow. You be like, damn, who are you even talking to? There's nobody within 15 feet of us. And they're like, meow, 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 meow. All right. All right. They will get your ass. All right, they will get your ass real quick.
Now I got to cut you.
All right, so they know how to do things, man, and they got years and years of history. Like they're an old culture. All right, so they've been knowing and practice. They got Confucius and all kind of philosophical programs on your ass. So the submissive is the most strategic. So a lot of guys, you're intimidated by strong women and alpha women. But it's the submissive women is the most strategic. She is the one that is going to calculate on your ass. All right. But last point on them one is the family. All right. So you got to overcome the family with them. Cultural barriers are high with them because they're in the Far East. They're in the Far East. The Western culture and the Eastern culture are completely different. All right. Sometimes they can be socially awkward. If they're Americanized, they can be very, what I call condescending or conniving. So if they have an American education, they typically might have done well in high school or college or in their career. They're not going to thump their career down your throat. They're not going to do that. But they'll be like, I was valedictorian, ninja. All right, I had a scholarship to Stanford that I turned down, ninja. All right, so her condescending nature will be apparent. They are very highly competitive. Sometimes they do crash out, tend to be related to they feel like they're a failure. All right, so you typically generically might have that they feel like they're a failure. They didn't live up to their family's expectations or their mother or something like that. The humor is somewhat delayed and dry. They can be very sneaky and strategic. They will have a very large support system of family and culture that you'll have to integrate into. And the last part of it is expect her family to move in on you at some particular point. All right. And I know a lot of people don't agree with that, but just see Genie Mai and Jeezy. Their family they do, have a culture where they tend to live with their family longer. All right. And so they have a culture where the kids will live with the family as long as they can. And then they'll turn around and then the parents will support the grandparents and then vice versa. So they have that lineage. So at some particular point, you might have family members move on your ass. And they'll just start one by one. One by one. All right. First, the old ass grandpa gonna move in, and he don't say shit. Mr. Miyagi don't say a damn thing. He don't even act like he speak English. All right. But he ain't ever gonna say nothing in your own damn house. All right. In your own house, he ain't even gonna talk to your ass. He just gonna be looking at your ass like Danielson. All right. And then the mama gonna move in next. Then some brother gonna move in. All right. Ricky Tan gonna move in. All right. So they family together. So you're going to have to take care of all of them, bro. All right. And you're going to be the pet wallet. This typically where white dudes get finessed by Asian women. Because they're playing the long game. Asian women play the long game. They're not playing the short game. They're playing for life. So if they find you and they got you, all right, they gonna love you long time, my ninja.
What kind of fuck you give me?
Yep, then there'll be Papa San, then the uncle, and then somebody just came off a boat. All right, he gonna do well. And you gonna be boxed out of your own house. You gonna hate coming home. You're gonna be boxed out of your own house. You don't even want to come home. Your kids ain't gonna respect you. None of that shit. Your black and these kids ain't gonna respect you. Juntao come in. It's going to be a mess. All right, so shout out to the Ling Lings out there. Oh, good things about Ling Ling. Shout out to the good things. They got that Asian poon, all right? So that is a desirable, euphoric type of poon. Very excitable poon, all right? It's very addicting type of thing there. So they got that. They typically cook. They're submissive-oriented for men that are go-getters and dominant. You get a submissive, kind of an opposite attracts. They gonna let you poke on them. All right. And sometimes it's gonna be great because you're gonna feel like you dominating them. You be like, I'm dominating this woman. You can fold her ass up, tie her in a knot. She be just sitting over there. Oochie, ouchie. You be like, damn. All right. She ain't trying to fuck you back. And we gonna get to black women in a minute. Black women try to fuck you back. Right. You be like, damn, you too aggressive with it. All of a sudden, you cream pieing this woman, and she looking at you like,
what kind of fuck you give me?
All right, they got nice feet typically. All right, typically they got that going on. They typically maintain their weight. They typically are going to be small. You're going to eat a lot of rice-based foods and soups and wontons and shit like that. They do eat a lot of fried food, and some of the food that they fry up, you might want to see what it was before they start frying it up. You like, what is that actually? She'd be like, it's pork. It's mushu. You'd be like, let me see the package. Where did you get that package at? All right, anyway. Yeah, they little petite, small. If you like small women, docile, demure, submissive, this is typically going to be them. All right, so anyway, let me see here. And they like 8 kind of fucks here.
American people, 8 kind of fuck. Love fuck, hate fuck, sex only fuck, breakup fuck, makeup fuck, drunk fuck, buddy fuck, pity fuck.
All right, so they typically are small, and yeah, they got flat, but yeah, they got flat booties, and like if you like a small woman, small waist, kind of small-ish frame, and all of that, that's gonna be yours. All right, so anyway, let me get back to it. Let's get to the black woman out here. Black woman, all right? The Negroid woman out here. Here we go. Sister, you been on my mind. Sister. All right, so here we go right here. Sisters. All right, let me pull up my chart. Sisters, the black women out here, even if you're a white guy that likes black women, it's going to be pretty much, this is going to be the generic point of view of the black woman out here. I always call them hard on the outside and a little bit jelly on the inside. All right. Much of what they're doing is an act or a facade. That they're aggressive and they're dominant. And they're going to start a business. Much of this shit is just software programming that they're just saying the same shit. They're like doing the opposite of what the white girl's doing. I want to be a mom. I want to do this. The black girl is like, I'm going to be dominant, independent. This is all programming that they've been programmed with over the last 25, 30, 40 years. And so they tend to follow this programming. But really, these are a sensitive group of people. Very insecure, very sensitive. So we don't see that because we see them acting. We see them acting all hard and tough and go-getter. but really they can be very loving. All right. And there are great movies that have demonstrated this. The movie Harlem Nights. Harlem Nights had the character Della Reese.
Now I got to cut you.
Where she was always cussing people out and always fussing. But deep down inside, she was soft and she had feelings. All right. This is typically black women. Now, the thing is, they're a hard shell to crack. And it takes a lot of crack work to get to that soft shell. But it's not very rewarding still. So people don't want to deal with that outer facade that they're portraying. They tend to portray characteristics that are stereotypically against them. The sassy, the mammy, the Jezebel, and also the Sapphire. So on one minute, they're portraying the Sapphire. The next minute, they're saying it's a negative stereotype about them. But that is just because they're acting. So they got to do a lot of this shit and I don't know, and talk to the hand. And they got to do a lot of this shit to put up the facade that they can't be played with. Nobody gonna get me. You ain't gonna mess around with me. All right, which eventually is tipping their hands. All right, they typically don't make relationships last because they blow them up earlier. Let me give you an example. Latino women are gonna play the long game. Asian women gonna play the long game. White women gonna play the long game on your ass. These people gonna give up their hand and tip their hand right up at the beginning. Now, I know what you type of niggas, right at the beginning. All right, white women going to make that shit last and give you 5, 10, 15 years of marriage. Asian women going to tip their hand right at the 30-year mark. Black women, in the first 2 weeks, they going to tip their hand. They don't have a poker face. Highly emotional, combustible people. And as a result, this does indicate where they last in the relationship marketplace. They end up dead last. Now, they're just playing the short game. And, of course, then when you talk about sexuality, other women are just as sexual as them. They just are hypersexual. They appear more hypersexual because they kind of have larger features and they tend to be loud with it and more aggressive with their movements. When they have sex with you, they fuck you back. The other women don't fuck you back. You guys know what I mean when I say that? Like, when you're having sex with some women, they're like passively there. They might grind a little bit. Some women might lay there and oochie ouchie. They might give you that like you're just too big. Black women don't. They like jump on top of you and hop up and down on you like a bogle stick and they be trying to move their leg back. You like, what the fuck? They be throwing it back. You like, now if you like that, it's good. All right. But they trying to fuck you. Some guys don't like that. Right? It can be like, what is going on here? Like you throwing it back too much. You doing too much. But that's typically how they are because they tend to want some pleasure from it as well. So I don't know if they're acting or whatever they're doing, but what are you doing? They tend to come across as masculine. The issues that they have, again, the insecurities are loud. When you say sisters are loud, it's the insecurities that are loud. It's not that they're loud because they're loud. It's loud because their insecurities are loud. So whatever it is, I don't care what these people hear me saying. That's just insecurity. All right. You already know you're at the bottom rung and you just want to be loud because you're insecure about the position you're in. So most of that is insecurity as long as you know. The bar for them is really low. The bar for expectations on life in general are low. So if you happen to meet those expectations, I mean, you could be in there with them if you can overcome the hard outer shell and the insecurities. They tend to be the least loyal of the groups. All right. Meaning that, like, if they cheat on you, they're going to cheat on you and you're going to find out. They'll cheat on you with their baby daddy, right? They'll cheat on you and be caught red-handed. And sometimes they don't care, all right? So that's the other part of it. And then they will say they got their heart broken a lot. So you really can't figure them out. I think they don't know who they are. They don't know quite where they want to be. And this is really the first time they've really been free in America. So they're trying to figure out who they are. And in the midst of that, you got to ride the roller coaster with them. Let's see here. Sexualize in terms of being sexy. If you like their type, they could be overtly very sexual to you, meaning that they have, they tend to overdevelop very early. Latinas as well. So sometimes they overdevelop way past their maturity level, right? They'll be immature but overdeveloped, and this could really have detriments to them. Sometimes they come from broken homes where they experience some sort of sexual abuse very early in their lives. So that does set their life off into a very, shame spiral, a very spiraling events. So they're not as trusting of men. This group is very much not trusting of men at all for a variety of reasons. But one of them, broken homes, lack of males, the males that were around, uncles and baby daddies and what do you call them? Stepdaddies. And they tend to maybe take advantage of them when they're young. So they are very much steeped in trauma and shit like this. So you got to overcome that. Some of them are fast, as you say, because they overdevelop. They get accused of being fast. Sometimes they are fast, right? Because they, many things that they do, they can be very sexual, right? When they hula hoop so good, all right? Them little waist booty be shaking and jiggling, and the culture tends to be hypersexual. And if they play to that, they're going to end up, by the time they 22, turned out by 22. So they may still look good on the outside. Black don't crack. But their mentality and their experience, they already turned out by 22. All right, so then you're picking up the pieces. You're picking up the trauma by the time you show up in this 30 and 35. She still looks good, though. On the outside, she's going to look good. Skin going to look good. Titties going to look good. Ass, and she's going to be thick. Whatever it is. But she going to be mentally turned out by 22. And you're going to be picking up the pieces. And they're always struggling. So you can't find one that ain't struggling. Much of it because struggling tends to be a choice, like single motherhood, finances, and shit like that. And if you get with them, no matter what race you are as a man, you got to pick up that struggle. And they always like to talk about struggle. Like that's part of the culture. Talk about how we struggled and we overcame and back in the slave days. They always want to bring that shit up. All right, which I hate. I hate it. It's like, anything that happens and a black person's doing it, she got to be like, oh, Coco Graf is out there in the semifinals. I don't care. Do you like tennis or do you like Coco Graf because she's black? Like, who cares? Or golf, Coco Golf. Or Serena. Or whatever it is. A black person does something, you got to be like, oh, Jamie Foxx got a new movie. Who cares? Right? Who cares? So they tend to always latch. Kamala Harris, anybody black, they just latch onto it like a lemming. And that's the majority of them. Not all of them. Some of them are overcoming the program. But it's always struggle and a black person's representing this and Beyonce didn't get nominated for a CMA award. I don't give a fuck. Who cares? Like, bruh, why you only just think about that? There's more to life than that. America's big, bruh. America's big. You always worrying about some shit like that. I don't care. I don't care about what black people are doing. Like, it don't mean nothing to me. Okay, man, I wasn't watching tennis anyway. Now you watching the semifinals watching the tennis semifinals because of the black girls playing in tennis. And I love her representation. It's just too much for me. Like, that shit is overwhelming. I got other shit to worry about. Like, than to worry about somebody representing shit like that. Now, in the 70s and the 60s, maybe that made sense. Arthur Ashe, Tiger Woods. But today, bro, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. Right? But they're always blah, blah, blahing about it as a means to, like, we need more representation. They didn't give Beyonce any credit for her country album. George Floyd, they got Pookie-philia, by the way. These women got Pookie-philia. Ray Ray, Nuck Nuck, Man. All right, that's their idyllic man. All right, Tupac with a degree. If you ain't that, you're gonna struggle with these women until you're about 35 or 40. Now all of a sudden, these women want you, and then you're dating white girls and linglings by that time, and now you a sellout Uncle Tom Coon. So that's the thing with BWs. Other than that, they typically don't cook very well. You're gonna get fucking air fried food, if that, fried food. They've lost all their appeal in terms of femininity or what men would desire in a submissive wife. They tend to have lost that unless they get into a culture that, promotes that. But those women are seen as pick me and trying too hard for the males. There's too much gender dynamics between the black male and the black female. This woman will only typically submit under a white guy. So a white guy, but most of them don't qualify for a white guy. They just have too much that white guys don't take in. And if they do get with a white guy, they got to get with them when they're young. I know a lot of these sisters will be like, I'm going to go get me a white man. And, bruh, you like 38. You definitely ain't going to get you a white man. All right, white men like younger women, especially successful ones. So if you're a sister that wants a white guy, start when you're 22. Go get you a white guy then. All right, but yeah. Oh, by the way, these women will take your ass to court. All right, and over some petty shit. Typically, the petty Olympics, that's black women. Other than that, cooking, cleaning, looks, sexualization, sexual appeal, that's where they're going to dominate. Well, not even cooking and cleaning. They don't cook and clean much anymore. So sexual nature, overtly sexual, maybe that type of stuff. I guess that's where you would get the benefit from them. If you want to protect your black family, this is not going to happen. You got the most divorces, the least marriages, and the most child support cases right from this group of people right here. So I don't need. But if you just love a black woman because of the way she looks, there you go. You're going to have a field day with this one. All right. But they're also, unfortunately, the least desired mates in America right now. But if you wanted to go somewhere else and find one that might be a little bit more self-serving, the African-American has all steep kind of issues here. So the African-American has a lot of issues that they need to overcome mentally. And what you will find is if you like a dark-skinned woman, a black woman, you could probably go to another country. The African-American is too mentally bankrupt to overcome some of the issues that you might want to overcome. So if you want a black woman, go to Africa. All right, or go to South America, Brazil. You might be able to find a better version. The African-American is too broken. And that's not just the woman, that's the man. We're broken people. We are conquered people. And we're in the pit, as our brother says. We're in the pit. So you are seeing this reflected out in the relationships and the results of it. If you're in the South, you got your pick. All right, for sure. But Pookies, they've been steeped in Pookiphilia. So they tend to deal with Pookies primarily in their earlier lives, and they tend to want us to be concerned with the Pookie politics of the community, which Pookie needs to go. All right, I don't give a fuck about Pookie either. All right, so when Pookie get ran over by the police and shot by the police, and the Venezuelans start taking over the hood, we supposed to go to Pookie. We supposed to come to Pookie's defense. We supposed to have a defense fund for the Pookie. All right, and so black women will be out there. My dudes, my nephew didn't do nothing. My cousin them didn't do nothing. Man didn't do nothing. He a victim of racism. It's always racism with these sisters out here. Meanwhile, the biggest racism shit they got going on is abortions, and motherfucking Pookiphilia and single motherhood. And high levels of divorce. That's the biggest shit that they got going on. All right, that's the biggest racism going on. But let them tell it is police brutality, right? Yep, and T-Mon got shot on his birthday, and they ain't had to do him like that. He didn't do nothing. Yep, that's them. So that's what you got to overcome. They tend to be distracted by these issues, and they tend to not overcome them or other aspects of their lives, and now you got to pick up the pieces. All right, and I don't got time for it anyway. It was on camera, coach, and he didn't do nothing. They only show you the clip where he started getting jacked up by the police. I was like, what about when Pookie did X, Y, and Z? Oh, that shouldn't matter. If he was white, they wouldn't do it, but he didn't do nothing. Did I get it right? Let me know. Let me give y'all a poll to get out of here, man. And do me a favor, man. Contribute to today's show. We got a poll. What is your preference? What is your racial preference? Let's see here. Let's give you the sisters. I'm going to just give you the letters. B-dub, W-dub, A-dub, Latina. All right, here we go right there. What's your racial preference so we can see what our group is doing? I'll do the super chats. The few super chats there are. Shout out to y'all ninjas. What happened? Y'all ready to do this week? I see what happened. It's the holidays.
Motherfucker.
He said they love free shirt. They love free stuff. Yeah, everything. I mean, well, African Americans love free stuff. Like, that's the way they get through life. It was free. And I got this for free. Other groups get through life on discounts, and it was on sale. All right, but them ninjas is free shit. All right, so anyway. Now, I can't put an option for all of them. You got to pick, ninja. No government name. CGA be telling y'alls. He says, been telling y'all's. Request, play. Come on, man. I've been telling y'all. Where we at here? CGA been telling y'all.
Hey, bro. Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
All right. The pookie-philia is an issue in the community for sure. Pookie-philia is an issue. All right. Kayla says, Coach, do you remember the Sex Over Life? That black chick who was Billy's friends got effed by Brad on camera for Billy to see. Even after that, Billy married Brad in the end and was pregnant with his baby. Women are truly something else. Well, we're going to talk about that later. Is that what we are told they are? They're not that. And that's why. That's why we struggle with women on that very issue. We're told what they are, and they're not like that. That's why you struggle. Shout out to our brother Pablo. He says, first time donation, long time listener. This Mitch acknowledges your wisdom. Shout out to you, man. I appreciate the acknowledgement.
Acknowledge me.
All right, let's see here. We got some other brothers over here. Let me go ahead and check these brothers out. Pause. We got, who is this? Shout out to B. Sue. He says, Tuition Ninja, shout out to you. And then shout out from JSU in Alabama. He says, these ninjas are starving. Is that what that is? Shout out to you, brother, right here.
Yeah, that brother's starving. Yes, sir, brother.
All right, somebody said, what about Native Americans? Oh, man, I got to end the show. I went into overtime today. All right, but yeah, res girls. Did you guys know that res girls are on the high list for sexual trafficking? I didn't realize that. All right, Native Americans. All right, they're highly susceptible to sex trafficking. I had no clue. Shout out to our brother here. This is our Jermaine says, thank you, CGA. Your info is always great. I watched your Fallen State interview from 3 years ago, and your philosophy is still strong and concise. No holes in the theory, right? I appreciate your consistency. Shout out to our brother Kevin from North Phoenix. Coach, my ex was a Latina. She crashed her car into my neighbor's wall driving past my house one night after we broke up, then called me to come pick her up, shaking my head. They wild free agent lifestyle for life. Also a Arizona Latina. Shout out to you right there. Marcus B says, just like with animals, some of the most beautiful animals are predators. They are. It's because he said it's been said that people that have been attacked are completely mesmerized by their beauty. The same is to be said about some beautiful women. Some of the most beautiful women are some of the most vicious. And they learn that behavior, right? They learn that. Also, the beautiful ones always smash the pictures, as Prince said. And he also says, Marcus B, CGA, just like there's different type of Asian women you spoke about, there are different types of black women that you didn't speak on. The mixed black woman, the mulatto. In my experience, they are totally different than full black women and or mixed black and white women. The mulatto, yes. You know, mixed people are their own tribe. So I would have to go very deep into the mixed women of America. The mixed women of America are an interesting group of people, right? They have their own issues as well. So yeah. Rational rationality, coach, I'm a nurse practitioner, make over $250K a year, and you live like you make $80K. These female docs that I work around make $400K a year and are still broke and talking ish about men. And here I am working on my third house to sell, and these blockheads are lost at every level. Price is wrong. This is a fact. It's a fact. I mean, I've seen this with my own eyes. All right. Journey to an unknown place. Hey, coach, I'm a sales consultant at a car dealership. Can you drop a blue chip on how I can use these skills to scale my business? Well, just get into those. Get into the idea that you're going to have to sell anything that you're doing. A lot of men fear selling, including selling themselves. So for you, be able to use the power of taking the people that you sell to and meet and using them as a pipeline for sales, because you've already had the contacts. Just have a database. So salespeople and database equals money. Salespeople and database equals money. So if you're in sales, get a database. Contact, put everybody in your contacts, and then be able to hit them up, communicate with them, and maybe you'll get a kick. Maybe you get a sale or a referral. Dr. Beto or Day Beto says, CGA, out of all the girls I've been with, including my ex-wife, my girl from Tijuana, Mexico, was the only one to make my bed the first night we spent together. Shout out to the Tijuana women. All right. Most men are afraid to sell. That's why they call men, what do they call them? They call them grifters, because most men don't like to sell. Shout out to our brother here, JB. Keep winning, CGA. I appreciate you covering everything from a man's perspective and just standing in the trenches for us. Big ups to you, Coach Gang, and Free Agent Lifestyle for life. H Everyday Masterclass on these 304 CGA plus the Free Agent Lifestyle. And by the way, guys, H Everyday, I'm pretty much accurate on all of these descriptions, and I do have a lot of experience. I'm not an incel, despite the fact what people want to think. I have a lot of experience. I'm pretty much going to hit the nail on the head on about 98% of the time with women. Guys, they're not that hard to figure out. So when I even bring up the races of women, are there women that you can put up with that are less like what I'm talking about? Yes, but overwhelmingly, it's pretty accurate. Anybody disagree with me? Like, you mean you disagree on everything that I said about these women out here? And he says, tell them again, Coach. White women are the only group of women who have benefited from feminism. He says, just like white men benefiting from all the laws in America. Grab your passport and play on the world stage. America is just where you make money. That's a great point. America is just where you make money. All right, All Dogs Go to Heaven says, met this woman a while back, and after only 2 dates, she told me she already knew what things to say to me that would trigger me if they ever got in an argument. It's fascinating how women always know the perfect thing to say to try to break a man down. Yes. And this is strategic. They're doing this to see. It's a shit test. They're doing this to see that, guys, women work differently than you guys think they work. Relationships are important to them. Also, protecting themselves are important. So they want to see how far your crazy ass gonna go as early as possible. Dr. Beto says, a wise man once said, a submissive wife is a sophisticated wife. Also, a man, how can I expect a woman to submit to me if I haven't submitted to God or Christ first? I think you meant if they haven't or you haven't. The submission thing, guys, is to me something that is a non-negotiable. Meaning that most women that submit to you will submit. It's right away. It's right away. It's not something that you're going to have them do. And this does indicate where your options and maybe your leverage is. The submissive women that I've dealt with have been submissive from the start. Now, I've had masculine women that I've dealt with, and they have almost never become submissive. You see what I mean? Like, they were masculine to begin with, and it was masculine when this shit crashed out. I was like, well, that's enough of that. But submissive women are going to be submissive from the start. You don't have to negotiate it with them. They're either like that or they want to be that for you. All right, that's my opinion on the submissive nature of women. Anybody that you got to ask and tell them and show them scriptures and shit like that, she has no intentions of being submissive to you at all, at least in the way you want them to be. Abel returns to Eden, says the lessons I've learned from your review is that of the women is thus. It says right here, wait for the next shipment of new, is it Wiki Life? Advanced humanoid androids to come in. Oh, okay. He said satisfaction guaranteed, and they come with a full warranty. I'll wait. Okay. JBW says, Ben, a wow, Coach. Here are some coins for this week's streams. They have all been fire. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. We'll give you a co-sponsorship round in the corner.
I'm rich.
All right. 280 online. Salute, Coach. He says, I heard you use the words drama and trauma while describing the experiences dating a Latina. It made me think that you should establish the word date, which is drama and trauma experience. Date. Yes, indeed. Shout out to you right there. Drama and trauma comes included with a great variety of women. I think they're also programmed to believe relationships should have some pull and tug, right? They grow up thinking relationships that have conflict and arguments and break up to make up. So they play into that, all right? People are just playing house. And so when she gets a relationship, she just wants to play house. She wants to flirt. Shout out to Eric, great Scott in the building. So even for black women, I'm going in overtime. But let's just say you cold approach the woman. Okay, much of it is going to be a degree of drama with black women being the hardest right off the rip. Well, who did you and who and you? That's going to be harder. So the cold approach is going to be harder with her because she's going to come in automatically on drama. Then I would say, who will be next? All right, I would say maybe Asian women will be second because of the loss in translation, the dry humor. All right, typically they're going to give you nothing, stone face, poker face, or they're going to be overly giggly. So they are going to be difficult. And I would say Latinas, then whites. Maybe you can flip the Latina and the white woman right there. All right, but the drama going to be there. Depending on the degree of the white woman, I would put the Latina maybe the easiest, but the degree of the white woman is going to be, all right, it could be on it could be at various degrees. There's just so many of them, it's hard to peg them down. All right, but drama and trauma is a part of relationships. So they're going to bring that in. Marcus B says CGA like the different type of Asian women you spoke about on there. There's one more type of black women you didn't speak of. That was the mixed woman. So I got that one already. All right. Anyway. Bronx Latinas or Harlem Latinas are going to be difficult as well. Let's just say this. If they're in poverty, it's going to be difficult. So here's my bit of advice for the men. Guys, women that are struggling are going to be difficult. All right. So impoverished women, women from hard dynamics, hard growing up, women for struggle, they're going to be different. Typically in our culture, in American culture, these are the dark skinned or brown people. This is our class or caste system. So if that's the case, they're from Harlem, right? Washington Heights, the Bronx. These women are mostly in poverty, dealing with poverty for decades. By the way, you're not supposed to be dealing with poverty for decades. This could be a very traumatic experience. So people are not supposed to be impoverished for decades. That's not the design. All right, but this is the design in America, and you accept it. People struggle for 10, 20, 30 years, and you think it's fucking normal. Do you realize how traumatic that is to you? How will that fuck up your mental? There's a reason why people are like this. I'm not saying that it's not their fault, but people aren't supposed to be in poverty from childhood to fucking adulthood. This is very traumatic. People who deal with that are traumatized. They're broken. And that's just the start of it. The things that come from that, living in fucking bullet-riddled communities, gunshots, ambulances, concrete jungles, sexual assault, child sexual abuse, alcoholism, gang violence. These are major traumatic issues for the human being to experience, but people experience it for 10, 20, 30, 40 fucking years. These are broken people. You don't realize it, though, because you accept it. Let's continue. Snap Tech Fix says, I love the sisters, but the consistent bad attitudes have them in RUO box for me. He says right here, and they are never getting out. I agree. They're never getting out of it. All right. Simply because they may accept this plight. Yeah. Shout out to the coach gang, man. I'm going to get out of here. We did overtime today, but we're going to be back tonight. Hit the like button, and thank you for the late contributions. That really means a lot to me. We out of here. Peace.
Vibe blowing at the J, got the loud jumping at the pay. Everything I'm on slack. Everything I do is got the Benz jumping at the bay. Vibe blowing at my J, got the loud jumping at the pay. Everything I'm on slack.
We've been with the Brazilians. This would be the first.
They wild, I think.
I'm innocent.
Bro, you hear that guy?